if he just does it.
Okay, it's all good. We have time. I mean, we can start doing the talking until then.
Okay.
Whose idea was it to get coached?
We both just lost a game and we're both super fed and we're just like, man, we suck, man. We need a fucking coach.
And how did you find in particular? Because if I'm not mistaken, on faint boosting, like you have like hundreds of boosters.
It was just luck of the draw, man.
You took one out of the jar, and it was me.
Um, he found you. I had nothing to do with it. I'm not even on the Discord, but he just said, "Hey, I found a coach," and I was like, "All right, let's do it." And
Awesome.
that's the story.
Awesome, yeah. So to give you a bit of a background, so yes, you see my logo, you saw me playing. I'm a Tryndamere OTP, but at some point I wanted to grow my YouTube, my Twitch channel. I had 100 followers, I wanted 200, and I was like, how am I gonna do that? So I was like, well, I need to give something to 100 people, so they give me a follow, basically. So I started coaching for free at the beginning. So I coach 100 players that you see on the server right now. Like everyone,
Mhm.
basically, I coach here. And from then there's a whole company that is being built up. People have told me that I was pretty good at coaching. So if you go in your feedback, like you're gonna see like some pretty awesome feedback, and I love it. And I'm a teacher IRL. I do it for a living in real
That's
life.
awesome.
So I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do coaching. So hopefully I can help you guys. You're actually my third double coaching. I've coached
Awesome.
DuoQs before, and I find it really fun. I find it really fun and even more exciting
Yeah, that's our
than.
goal, man. We want to be a great duo. His phone account joined. If you could give him roles, so he could join too.
Oh yeah. Let me see. It's
And the
gonna.
room might have to be expanded. I don't know how his setup is working
Yep, I
to
will do
four
it
people.
right now. Limit. I mean, I'm gonna put it at 10. Okay, and then. mm, I don't see him in welcome yet.
Did you click the welcome thing, John? It should be pop two, pop number two.
Okay. I see him now. Pop 2. Okay, awesome. So Pop 2, give him member, give him verified, and it should be able to join. Hello.
Awesome.
Hello.
Okay, awesome. I can hear you. Okay, and how do I call you? Do I call you Pop? Do I call you Joreka?
That's Ryan.
Ryan. Okay.
Yeah.
That works. So it's Ryan and Toby.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Who's who, by the way? Who's Zed? Who's Evelyn?
I'm Evelyn.
Okay, so
Ryan is Evelyn. Toby is it.
okay,
Or he's
okay.
Toby plays a few champions.
Okay, that works. So let me just change the title. Just put coaching right now. Coaching right now. Okay. So you told me we're gonna do VOD review, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have games played on the current patch. So you play on NA or
Yeah.
ES?
Yes.
NA. Okay. So I will go to my NA account so I can navigate myself through the games. So can you give me a bit of context? I don't know if there's like a group leader between the two of you, or if you wanna both talk, but give me a bit of context on like how you approach the game, how long you've been playing, like do you have any objectives, any goals with that?
Uh, we want to hit master.
Okay.
We've been playing since like season 4.
Okay. And what rank are you as of now?
Right now, I'm gold 2. I hit like high platinum every season. I hit diamond 3 back in season 9, but that was like on support. This is my first season playing jungle.
Okay. And same for mid lane, or are you an old timer on Z and mid?
Well, I just started playing Zed, but I play mid lane. That's my main, and I have a high diamond MMR count, but I'm probably low diamond ranking. I have a diamond 4 account, but not enough games played to be super accurate of my actual MMR. So I'll just say low diamond, diamond 4 right now, and then what's it called? I think our issue is ending games. That's our main issue.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, when I do my coachings, I try to find the 1, 2, 3, maybe four things that if you work on, you will have the most results. So one of them
Okay.
will be ending games. Do you have any
Yeah.
idea of what would be the other ones?
For me, positioning for Zhao, taking objectives at the like forcing objectives, knowing exactly when, which would tie in with ending games, correct?
Hmm. Do you agree, Ryan?
I have a hard time taking objectives on Evelyn because she's kind of like a weaker when you take it. I guess I don't know,
Yeah, like
knowing when to take it.
yeah, she has to have a like to be sure that like Evelyn is weak when she's in vision, right? Like she needs to abuse like her invis and the fact that people don't know where she is, where she can come from, etc. And when you're doing an objective, like you're standing still for quite a long time and you're in plain sight, so you need to be sure that first you have the position on the objective and you're it's a free one, but she's also really good at securing it. That's on the good parts. Like if you manage, I don't know if you practiced it in practice tool, but if you manage to deal your R damage plus smite, like you're actually in the top 5 smiters with after Nunu, after some of these guys. But I don't know if it's a mechanic that you often use, the R smite at the perfect timer, but it's one you
Yeah,
need to learn as Evelyn because it's a big part of the champion.
yeah. I do it
Personally,
more on Baron
I've
rather
seen
than.
him steal multiple Barons in a row. I'm pretty sure his Evelyn mechanics are top tier. Our main issue is macro and some micro for my end.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll look at that. Also, like just out of curiosity, wouldn't you guys be sad if you reach masters because you can't duo anymore?
No,
I
it's
mean,
kind of
as
just like
long as we
an
can hit,
achievement.
and then we can
Yeah,
smurf every other fucking game after we do that. We just
yeah.
want to be good.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Okay, so I need just one in-game name so I can look at your history, find the games.
The Jow is probably easier. JOW.
JOW.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. It's. I mean, we've been playing since season 4. The account's old, so.
That's why. Yeah. Okay, so tell me, do you have decided on what games we're gonna look at?
What
So the
game?
most recent one first.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
most recent one first, and yeah, we'll see after this one which one we're gonna look at. Okay, and then one final question. I would love to know, like, when you guys play, what's the dynamic? Like, how, like, do you guys talk a lot? Are you guys like giga focused? Do you guys talk about like IRL stuff? Do you try to talk only about the game? Do you give a lot of information? Do you get
I think
tilted
we talk
sometimes?
only about the game. I think we talk only about the game. We don't really do too many like out of
Yeah.
game contexts.
We try to figure out what we're doing wrong and we communicate
Yeah,
like what the fuck are we doing? Like how do we end this game?
Mm,
yeah. Sometimes we'll literally say out loud like I don't know what we're like. I don't know how we're supposed to end this game. Like we'll say that out loud to each other.
okay.
And like yeah.
And earlier in the game, do you call for ganks, for opportunities, for invade potentials, things like that?
So
Yeah. That's we communicate that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I will keep asking you a few questions. I mean, that's the best way for me to give the best
yeah.
value possible and to give the best coaching. So we will do
Can you record this by the way? Are you recording this?
yes, because it's
Okay.
streaming, and then I can send you the VOD after the coaching.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, so I think we still have like 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A before we get into it, but it's gonna be like super important ones. So the first one I would love to hear. So from what I've seen, you're not OTPing your champs, but you're maining them, like you play them most of the time. Okay, so here you're on Mazar. Is it because like Zed was banned, or do you have like multiple picks?
Oh, he was actually ADC. He got autofilled,
Oh,
but he plays
okay.
ADC is a secondary role,
Okay,
so he's
okay.
also good.
Okay, that works. So, I mean, I would like to hear, at least for
Oh,
Evelyn, um, okay, are you guys familiar with the term champion's identity?
not
Um,
necessarily.
Okay, so the champion's identity is, let's say, a few sentences you could give about the champion. If I tell you these sentences, you will give me who the champion is, basically. Not like the game where you say it's a yordle, it's a girl, etc. But in terms of pure gameplay. For example, I'm playing Tryndamere. What's the champion identity of Tryndamere? For me, it's a melee range ADC. He's a split pusher. He's very gold hungry. Like he needs a lot of gold to function. He's really good in a 1v1 situations. He struggles against tanks, etc. So it's basically, yes, what you can say about the champion, what makes, yeah, his identity. Seraphine is a support that thrives when she's in the middle of her team. She has high CT, but also healing and shielding, etc. So what would you say Evelyn's champion identity is? It's gonna be like that.
I don't like flank, level 6, like level 6 power spike, like hard farm to 6, ganking, flank, like ganking and flanking, kind of like playing around Medjai's and like move speed. It's kind of my idea.
Okay. Do you often build Medjai's on her?
Yeah, like first mainly.
First, like first or first second?
Like first sometimes. It kind of just depends on how the game looks like it's going, but a lot of times just actually first.
Okay. Do you not often regret it, or it works for you?
I feel like the majority of times, even when I like lose all stacks, I gain them back. Like I find it pretty easy to stack it, and I don't really die too often. I have pretty high KDA when I play Evelyn, so I'm pretty safe with my Medjai the majority of the time I buy it.
Okay, so the way I see it, like if I had to duo with a friend and we decided on playing Evelyn and Zed, which could happen because Evelyn looks like a super fun champion. Zed a bit less for me, but I know friends that absolutely love it. The way I would see it is, what are we trying to achieve? What do we want as players? And I feel like both Zed and Evelyn, they spike really hard at level 6. So for me, there will be this first thematic of, we need to get level 6 safely and then start making plays on the map. Also, Evelyn and Zed, they're assassins, so they thrive when they have space. They need turrets to be taken. It's super important. Because when turrets are taken, and T1 being the most important, now you have access to the enemy jungle. Now you have access to bot lane dives, to top lane dives, etc. And so for me, for example, just by saying that, just by thinking about the champions you're playing most of the time, I know like we're gonna talk about Kai'Sa. For me, like first, I would not play for first Drake. I would play for first Herald. Like if a choice has to be made, just because we said that, and you guys are DuoQing and playing assassins, I would value Herald more than Drake's. Just because it opens up the map and it allows you to do whatever you want. Then there's also an important principle in League of Legends for mid laners, is that a mid laner, he's supposed, like, the best way to play mid lane is push and roam, push and roam, push and roam. And I suppose you know that, right?
Yes.
You've been playing for a long time. But then it's push and roam where, even if the play looks to be bot side, but your jungler is top side, I consider that a mid laner, his mission is to complement his jungler. Like, play together. If you go as 2 for a top dive, as two for a bot dive, like even if it doesn't look good at the beginning, it's gonna end up being good, just because you're gonna create a number advantage most of the time. Okay, we keep that in mind. We put it in our pocket, and we'll see later how it can be useful. Here you're playing jungle ADC, so it's gonna be a bit different, but still we're gonna see how we're supposed to approach the game. So in every single of my coachings, every single of my students, there's 2 exercises I would force them to do. And I do them every game. When I'm doing right now my Unranked 2 Masters, I'm doing it every game. Also, I'm doing it on my main account. I reached GM earlier this season doing it, and it's super important, and it's a never-ending process. Whenever you start a game, you have cases to tick, right? The first one will be what I call do the thinking. And that's what I'm gonna ask you guys. With do the thinking is, so when I get into the game, and I will show you how to do it in DuoQ, it's actually easier. I would go matchup by matchup, and I would do my thinking. What do I think of the matchup? How the dynamic is supposed to go, etc. Matchup by matchup. Then I do 5v5. So team comp versus team comp. Like if there is a 5v5 team fight, do we have an advantage? And then I go scaling. Is there a team that has the scaling obviously and will instant win the game after 25-30 minutes or not? And once you've done that, you can add, of course, like some extra information. Like last game, I did my thinking and then I got in game and I saw that Poppy had Dark Harvest, so it changed my thinking. It's not a tank, etc. So that's the exercise. And I would like you, so one of you, to start doing it, to tell me what you can think of this game. And then the second one, and that's why Duo is broken, we just add information. So if the second one does not agree with some of the things that have been said, he can say, well, I do not agree on that, etc. I would change it this way. But if you have any information to add, we do it. So who feels like starting? Who thinks he can give like maybe the most information on the dynamics of the game?
I think I do a little bit of I think I do a little bit of pre-game stuff. I normally look at the enemy jungler is my main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like from what I can see, it's like Lilia is gonna full clear. Like that's her game plan for sure. I can see Teemo having lane priority over the Poppy for sure. And because Lilia wants to full clear, that means she's gonna start bot because she wants to get like the fastest possible clear. So she's gonna go to her bot lane for it. So knowing that she's gonna path from bottom to top, I'll probably I won't have to worry about her invading me. So I probably will skip buying a potion. I'll just full clear from my bot side as well, and I'll just try to be like I guess fast as her. Mid lane's kind of a toss up either way. Either lane can win, and then bot lane can win if they land hooks. That's kind of like my idea of like how the early game would go.
Okay. Ryan, do you Toby, do you agree? Do you have anything to add?
I say that's better than I could have said it. I think Malzahar is a good pusher, so he's gonna have prio, and that's pretty much the only thing I can add.
Okay, so that's lane by lane. Now, let's imagine you take these 5 champions. We are at like 18 minutes. Everyone has 1 or 2 items, and we're fighting. What does a team fight look like? What are the dynamics?
So let's see.
This I'm worse at. I think Toby might be better at this.
For me, well, when you look at these champions, do you agree that the left team just scales harder in team fights? I think they have a much better team fight than us. In terms of AoE damage, right? I mean, Teemo kind of counters me. Poppy's, I say more of their team is more useful in team fights than ours.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what I get from it. Like Yone has more team kill pressure. Lilia also has more team kill pressure. Teemo probably more pressure than Poppy, and then MF has the AoE ult. Senna's late game scaling, so she's just going to continuously scale.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's good info. So on the scaling, you would say it's for them. So what I see is yes, like they have on a 5v5 they have a pretty big wombo combo potential. So you have Lilia R that can hit the 5 of you, then you have Yone R, you have MF R, and you have Senna R, and they have more range. Also, you guys are pretty low ranged. Like Kaisa, I think it's one of the ADC that has the less range, if I'm not mistaken. And everyone's pretty low range, and they have a Senna by herself that can be pretty scary. But you guys have weapons also, like Mazar can lock someone, Poppy can ult some dangers away, and you have Thresh that can hit a hook, so Madar into Thresh, CC, etc. So you guys have weapons that are more single targeted, and these guys have weapons that are more like AoE, like you said. So there's not a clear advantage for me. Just for me, I would say that it's harder for you to play. than for them, because they just like press form and R on you guys if you're stacked up, and you guys need to make peak, you guys need to find isolated targets, etc. So that's what I would be thinking from minute 1, and I think for now it's enough information. So it's like I'm sure like you don't do it like this far in terms of the thinking, but it's gonna be super important, because during the game you're gonna have to think about so many things: your items, your words, how you're trading, how you're pushing your waves, farming, freezing, etc. And every single thing you can think of before the game even starts, it's brain processing power you're saving for yourself later. And it's gonna be useful information. If at 5 seconds into the game I know that we're not supposed to be stacked up and we need to make picks, probably that it will be easier to win a team fight at 33 minutes. And we'll see, maybe the game will prove me right, or maybe it will prove me wrong, but most of the time it's gonna happen this way. So this is super important, and what I would love for you guys to do in order to perform more is whenever you're even in champ select, the best way to do it is in champ select, like when the guy picks they pick their champions one by one, etc. You keep adding layers of information on top of each other until you have all of the info, so you don't have much more thinking to do in loading screen. Sometimes I only do it in loading screen because maybe the game will dodge in champ select, and then I'm just like, okay, I thought for nothing, but you never really think for nothing. And yeah, it's gonna be important. So that's exercise 1. If you finish the game and you lost it, and at minute 1 you didn't do the thinking, in my opinion, you should consider that you didn't do everything that was in your power to actually win that game. So that's exercise 1.
There's no way we did the thinking. We always think after. So that's a very good point.
So yeah, that's a big one. Plus, it also gets you into the game, you know. So you don't have the you don't wait this moment to start like okay, warming up mechanics, thinking about the game, getting into league mode. It makes it so that your brain is in league mode already. It's actually like you don't have attention residue from what you were talking about earlier or doing earlier. Okay, so that's exercise 1, and then exercise 2 will be jungle tracking. Super important, because the whole dynamics of the game for the first 5-6 minutes is gonna be based on jungle. Okay, so for me, if you do these two things, it's gonna allow you to make your plans and be able to play your game correctly, etc. Okay, we're gonna get into the game soon, I promise. Just one more thing I want you guys to keep in mind about what is playing League of Legends, whether it's solo, duo, or in a 5v5. Playing League of Legends, for me, it's an eternal cycle of 3 things. Or we could say 4, because then it's the beginning of the cycle. At first, you have a set of information. So the more information you have, the better. You have a set of information. Here it's a whole lot of info, the summoners, the things, like for example, the fact that you have a TP and they don't, etc. It can be useful info also. So you have a set information. Based on that information, you're supposed to make a plan. So again, you can optimize the information you take, but you can also optimize the plan, and that's what will help you finish games later. I think it's lack of, not lack of planning, maybe it's lack of planning or lack of having a good plan. And then you click and you use your abilities to apply this plan. And that's what we call mechanics. And that's only a small part of it. And then after you've tried to apply this plan, there's 2 outcomes. Either you succeeded or you did not succeed. But either way, guess what happens? Now you have new informations. You have a new set of information. And based on that new set of information, you're supposed to make a plan. Then you try to apply it with your abilities. New info, make a plan, apply it, etc. The problem with league players, and I mean players in any competitive game, is most of the time they don't even have a plan. Or they have a plan for the next 5 minutes, then the 5 minutes happen, and then they forgot to make a new one. So one thing I would advise you to do, and I would try to do it here, especially when you're in DuoQ, is what I call sequencing. It's like you're gonna try to cut the game into sequences. For example, a really simple sequence would be, well, I'm Evelyn, I want to full clear. My first sequence is gonna be full clearing. So you know that if you're doing a full clear, now there's, I don't know if it's 20 or 30 seconds of a timer after Scuttle Crab before you can back and respawn, etc. So you know you want to end up your clear where you can maybe have an opportunity to take a fight, or maybe if the jungler is a very aggressive one and you lose the 1v1, you want to avoid him and try to clear in the opposite way, things like that. And that could be a really good sequence. And the same for you in bot lane or in mid lane. During that time, you want your wave to be in some position to complement a play for your jungler. Like, for example, if the jungler wants to play for Scuttle Crab, and there's gonna be a fight on Scuttle, as a mid laner, you want to have prio, right? So you can move there. But if the junglers are trading scuttles, it's better to be pushed in and to have the wave frozen, so you cannot get ganked, but your jungler can gank you, right? So so it's this kind of sequencings that will help you navigate from minute 1 to the Nexus. It's gonna be super important. So now maybe all the things that I said might be still abstract on some parts. So that's why we're gonna just like start into the game. So for example, just before, and that's the final question I will ask you. Man, I keep losing myself. Ryan is Evelyn, that's it, and Toby is Kaisa. Okay, so Ryan, here you look at it. Don't even tell me in this game in particular, but if you look at it now, what will be like your first sequence as Evelyn? Are you gonna clear top to bot to top?
Clearing bot to top.
Bot to top? Okay, what's the reason behind it?
Because I want to. I know I'll be faster than Lilia, and I guess just because I wanted to match the pacing of Lilia, because I figured Lilia was going to start bot because she also wants to full clear. And I think on the Scuttle Crab, even if we both get there at the same time, that I would have the advantage with Poppy and Mausar as opposed to Lilia. And also I would be there first, and I'd probably be there healthier too, and with a smite. Because Evelyn can't really lose Scuttle Crab unless she's really pushed off, because I always have a smite up for it. And with your W, Q, and E and smite all at once, it one-shots the Scuttle Crab. So I had enough confidence that I would be able to beat Lilia at Scuttle with a bot to top.
Okay. And now, Toby, forgot what you heard about. Like, you're playing solo in this game, you're Kaisa. What will be your plan for the first few minutes?
Okay, so my plan is, knowing that MF is stronger than me early game, but I have a thresh hook, is play safe and wait for thresh hooks. That's pretty much my plan, is just to stay safe, get farm, and then keep growing, and then take what I can get. That's basically it.
Okay, so like from minute 1, I'm seeing something that could be for me optimized in the direction of we're DuoQ, we're counting on ourselves, and we're gonna carry this game. Probably it's because ADC is your second role, so you might not have that reflex. But for me, yes, like you don't have the like it's 2 range versus 1 range and 1 melee. So if you have to pull the wave as a bot lane and come later, you're never gonna have prio, and your only way out is a thresh hook. So you guys are putting like the hands of your bot lane in the support that we don't know. We don't know who that guy is. When you have a hook, like the way to win actually with the melee and the range against 2 ranges is looking for, like, first, of course, like we have a thresh, we should go for an invade. We win the level 1. But also trying to wait for them, to chase them in a bush, and you can win the game minute 1 just from this. You see how in competitive, I don't know if you guys watch competitive or not.
No.
No? Well, in competitive, they never pull. Top, bot, etc. Like, it's very, very rare that a lane will pull. The only way they pull is if they know that they're gonna give prio anyway, and they can give the information on where the jungler is. So me, for example, if I was in your situation with the Smurf, with the Master GM Smurf, I would say, okay, well, I'm clearing top 2 bot, and now it does 2 things. First thing, it gives my bot lane the opportunity to win from level 1 with Ignite, with a Threshold, etc. And Kai'Sa actually can thrive on it with her passive, etc. And also it makes it so at minute 3, if you guys killed, if you guys manage to have an advantage, well, now we can make a play on Scuttle, and we play together. I feel like you guys need to be selfish. Like when I'm playing solo and being selfish, and you guys are 2, you represent 40% of your team, and I feel like you should invest on that 40%. I did something with a friend at some point. So I was already Diamond 1 or Diamond 2, and he had stopped playing for 2 years. And he loved to play Jax, and what he did is he was playing Jax jungle, and I was like, we forget about the bot side of the map. We're playing together, we're in vocal, and we trust each other. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start red buff, and you're gonna gank me level 2. And we did that every single game. For a whole night, we won 17 games in a row, and we went from unranked to plat 1 in one sitting, like without sleeping, and we were smoking weed. So it's and the way we did that is by just investing on ourselves. Not like, and also like we could think by investing, because here you're investing on Poppy and Malzahar. Also, don't forget that you said that Timo is supposed to have the prio on Poppy, so Poppy is not supposed to be able to help you on top Scuttle. But you're investing on players that, if you manage to do what you want to do, which is getting better, so winning more games, so getting more MMR, you're not gonna play with them again. So it's normal that they do more mistakes and they understand the game less than you. So for me, when you're playing duo, you need to invest on yourselves, unless there's an obvious win condition on top side, like putting Poppy ahead, putting Malzahar ahead, things like that. And the final thing for my thinking, and the reason why I would have started top side with Evelynn, and I'm not saying red buff, like you can start solo on Raptors. This is done more and more often. Is because, like you were talking of getting the Scuttle before Lilia, etc. If you want to full clear, and like this is good for getting it and maybe denying it to Lilia, but now there's a final element when I tell you about information, is she has Dark Harvest and you have Electrocute. So maybe she can even scale for it, so if she loses it but gets a DH stack, she still gets something from it. Where if you do top 2 bots, you can still get your Scuttle, you're still gonna get to your level 6, and you're not risking anything, and you can be there for your bot laner. If there is a threshold, you can maybe get a kill, etc. So now, one final thing to approach my coachings, I'm not saying this is what should have been done and this is the only right play. What I'm saying is that in League, you have multiple good plays for good reasons. Like a play is good and bad for some reasons, and it's never like black or white. But hopefully you've understood my thinking and why that's the decision that I would have made. It's because we're in vocal. I trust you. I believe in you, Toby, and believe in myself also, and believe in your capacity to help me get fed more than these guys on top side. Did that convince you?
Yeah.
On you should be selfish, probably. Okay, so now we're finally getting into the game, and you see, like, this is for me. So it took us a lot of time because I explained and then put a lot of words, etc. But for me, this is how we should approach every beginning of the game. And actually, even more than that, you have a Thresh from minute 1. You have an invade potential. I really think you win it, even if they have lethal tempo on this guy and Lilia, who can stack her passive. I really think you win level 1. And if you do agree with me, you should be, both of you guys, pinging super hard that we should invade. I don't know if you think you win the level 1 or not, but if you think so, it means that in this game you either did not do the thinking or did not take the responsibility of pinging it.
Yeah, I was just playing around the Thresh early game. If he went in, okay, if he didn't go in, I'm not gonna go in. So
But I'm talking about the invade. Like imagine it was
yeah.
the 5 of you guys here in that bush.
Mhm.
It's a first blood. You can
Yeah.
already snowball
Mhm.
from that.
Yeah.
Yep, we see it right now. Okay. Anyway, oh, we end up still fighting level 1, but yeah, you see, like you should have been the one calling for it and not reacting. The game is in your hands, not theirs. Okay, we're fighting. I mean, yeah, as I said, we're supposed to win that. Big?
So I knew to path the right way here, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to get caught out, so I didn't path the upper way.
Mm.
But I thought of going around, but I thought it was a little risky, so I second guessed myself.
Okay, so I'm not a jungler main. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Tryndamere jungle, actually. Now you're the jungler and you see that. Okay, so as I said, league, information, plan, play, new set of information, new plan. It's 140. You're here on the map. And you see Lilia dying now. What do you take from it? Does that change your plan from doing bot to top, full clear, etc., or does that not change your plan?
It like when I saw it happen, and it made me want to do it even more because now I know I'm definitely gonna outpace her to top scuttle now because now she has to waste all the time dying and then walking back to her red while I'm already starting mine. So it confirmed my plan about what I wanted to do since she's gonna be even later to top now.
But you're giving her so you're giving her the opportunity to do what she wants. Okay, so that's a simple concept in League, but important to integrate is that creating a differential is more important than just getting resources. So, for example, as a top laner, I'd rather have 50 CS at 10 minutes, but my opponent has 0, than having 100 and he has 80 or 90. And it applies to every single lane, and it applies to jungle. For me, here you have a flashless Lilia, and she's still dead, and you're already gonna hit your camp. And you have a Thresh. I would look to invade. You're gonna get your level 2. Like now look at the timers. I'm not a jungle main, maybe I'm risking something. So imagine you smite that, and you go into her top jungle, her bot jungle, and you call Thresh to come. Okay, so that's something also we have something to tell about you, Toby. This guy for me, he like there's a world where we keep him level 1 for 4 minutes and he just legit can't play the game. I feel like with the few things, with only 2 minutes into the game, the fact that you didn't call for the invade, the fact that that you're not going now for the invade on the flashless Lilia level 1, etc., and you still have your flash, these kind of things. I think there's one first concept that we can retain for you guys. I mean, the first one, like you can note that down, is like doing the exercises, taking the information, etc. The second one will be you need to get you want to get masters. You need to get in the masters mindset. You need to be I don't know. It's not more cocky, but it's more confident, and it's play with a bit more ego and play with the mindset that I'm absolutely gonna stomp this game. I'm not looking to have a scuttle up on this Lilia. I'm looking to not let her play the game. I'm not looking to see if my Thresh hits a hook to win. I'm looking to call for him to let them face check us and get a double kill because I have lethal tempo and we have ignite, etc. That would be the mindset. I'm Evelyn. If I get 1 kill before my level 6, I'm enabled. Like legit, when I play with very high elo Evelyns, they're 1-0 or 2-0 before level 6. The game, it's not over, but it's super hard to play. Like she's really enabled with that. So I feel like now you look at it, hopefully you see it, right? Like this guy is still not in his jungle. He has no pool. He's gonna spend a lot of time. Plus we have vision on his red buff. So it means by going on red buff, if she's there, you're gonna see it and you can stay in the bush and try to steal it from her and fuck her. And if she's not there, you can just take it. And then you ask for your mid or your top to put vision in your own top jungle, and you can trade, like maybe you can take this and this for only her top. Like for me, game is supposed to be won and over, at least on the jungle part at this point, and even on the AD part because you got 2 kills. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah. I think just when I'm playing Evelyn, I'm so cut into like the cookie cutter like hit sit. Like I don't try to get huge leads pre-6 because like I know my identity is like you said, like my identity, I feel like it's hit 6 and then I'm strong. Not like I'm not really looking for it. I'm not thinking about doing anything crazy before 6 really. Realistically.
Right.
Ever.
Right. Okay. I can see that, but yes, of course, like you need to keep an open mind. Like for example, you see how last game I had Tryndamere and I played Zonias on Trynd.
Yeah, but I said that out loud actually. I said this guy has Zonias.
Yes. and the Zonias actually won us the game. And the title will be Zonias for the win, I think, for the video. Because I saw that in that particular game they had a Fed Z with 6 items. And if I don't have Zonias, he can just make me use my ult, tempo my ult, and then kill me. But with Zonias, I can tempo twice. I can tempo once with my ult and once with my Zonias. So I needed that particular game, with that particular situation, with that set information. And I feel like, yes, you need to play for 6, but when you have a flashless Lilia who died at minute 140, then the information is different, so the plan needs to be different. And yeah, so that's gonna be like that's what makes the difference between like good, great, and really, really great players, is the way they're able to be fluid in their mindset and in the plan that they make, etc. Sometimes like you see Faker, he changes his plan like 4 times in 30 seconds just because the guy does one extra click on one side, etc. So I'm not saying you need to do that, but for me, yeah, these kind of things are pretty obvious, but it comes down more to a mindset. Like you said, like you are in the mindset, I need to get 6, and I'm sure that you missed, like we saw it just in this game, but imagine on 100 games how many opportunities you're missing by just thinking, yes, I'm not level 6, that's not my job, you know. Okay, yeah. And now don't worry, Toby, we're getting to you, because I feel like you might have done a big mistake. We'll see. So at this point, so you got 2 kills, you have 700 gold, which is basically 2 long swords. So you have different options. What are they? Like, what do you want to do as Kaisa right now?
So me right now, I know that I have to back. So my main priority was to push the wave and back. And get my items and come back to lane healthy.
Okay, that works. So for me, I would maybe change it to, yeah, have a good wave and back, but at this time, like, it's like, yeah, like you don't really want them to push into you because they're gonna get XP, etc. Okay, so you're looking to push the wave, have a good back timer, and reset. But you know it's gonna be hard, right?
So yeah, I was just looking for the tempo right here, knowing that it's hard for them to kill me, but maybe if I can push the wave and get a proper back.
Okay, so my only point is, okay, I would replace pushing the wave with having a good wave, basically. Because why do you want to push the wave? You want to push the wave so it crashes, so then it bounces back slowly to you and you have time to reset and come back to a good wave. A wave that's on your side, you didn't miss too much gold and experience, etc. So for me, if you can start by doing that, if by default you think they're gonna push the wave to you, well, then it works. You know, you can just back. You're gonna lose experience, of course, of the first few minions, but there's a price to everything. Like, you cannot get 2 kills on Kai'Sa at minute 130 and not pay a price for it. That's normal. So the best thing, of course, like would have been if you notice that Lilia is gonna die here. Like, if again, I don't know what you were thinking of. Maybe you thought I need to cut her just in case and to ward, maybe hit that last auto. In that case, it's okay to go. But the best thing for me will be like resetting right now, probably. Or by default, like they're gonna push the wave. You could reset also. But if you want to push, again, I'm not saying like it's bad to want to push. You can't do it by yourself with half HP. So right now the fight is gonna be half of an HP bar against 2 full HP bars. Cannot work. Plus it's 2 ranges, and you have your Thresh helping Evelyn. So that's the bit of information that would have made me not try to push, because now you get saved, your ass gets saved by the fact that MF is pushing also, for some reason. Look at this, when you have like 3 CS against 2, what can happen now? They can freeze, right? It's pushing to them. So now your lane could be over if MF doesn't do this few auto attacks.
Never even thought of that. My that was like my whole mindset was like, I need a back, so I want to have a good wave. But realizing that if it was a good player, they could freeze on me is kind of crazy thinking.
Yes. And the point is, if you want to push, it's to have a good wave, and you are not gonna have a good wave unless you crash it. And so you need to be absolutely certain that you can crash it. Otherwise, it's not the call to push. It's okay to give a bit of EXP to back, get your 2 long swords, and then whenever your levels are gonna match their levels, so when they're gonna have like high XP before, because they're gonna have more XP, but at some point they're gonna be like 2.5 and you're gonna be 2, and you're still 2 versus 2, and you can take a fight and you're stronger. But here, like MF Senna, if they want, the game can be over. Maybe they're gonna do it actually. Maybe I'm disrespecting them, but no, look at them. They're pushing it back. Now it's not freezing anymore. Yep. So you get saved by their mistakes, and it's gonna happen a lot in your elo bracket. But you should not play for your elo bracket. You should just try to make the best play possible. So that's the idea to keep from it. Like, you want the wave to be pushing to you. That's why you want to push into them. It's because after it's gonna push into you. So if you can start by waiting for them to push into you, you can just press B and you come back with your items, and you don't miss as much golden experience. Okay, nice. So let's see. Yeah, it was a bit chaotic. That's why we spent a lot of time, because we had a lot of different information that were not supposed to happen. Now, something really important. I mean, in the communication part, for me, like on this kind of timer, like you don't have much to say to each other, because you, Ryan, like you're not gonna be able to impact bot side until a long time. So it doesn't matter too much like what the state of the wave is at 3 minutes. You're gonna be there at 4.5 or something like that. So we can wait to talk about it. But as a jungler, what's gonna be super important is to look at the state of the waves that you can impact. Again, at this moment, even if you're Evelyn, I don't want you in your mindset to be like, I need 6. So for 6, I need this and this and this. So you've thought about it at minute 1. Okay, now you have brain processing power. So now what are you thinking of doing your red buff? Hopefully you're not just be like, I can't wait to get this scuttle. I can't wait to get this scuttle. You know, like it's really good that you have your plan. Now you need to look at what's happening, get information. Like, you don't need much mechanics to do that red buff. And always look at the waves, at the lanes that you can impact. Of course, the next step, the higher you go, is look at every single wave and take every single information. But the good thing is, in this game at least, you have an ADC that can tell you what's happening on bot side. Like, you don't have to look. But for me, as a jungler, when I'm clearing my top camps, I look at top and mid. And when I'm clearing my bot camps, I look at mid and bot. But see how you should always look at mid? Always. Like, wherever you are on the map, you can always impact mid lane. And yeah, that's the point. Maybe you do it, but I feel like it's a very simple thing to keep in mind when you're playing jungle. just look at the lanes you can impact, and it's gonna be good enough. I swear that even until masters, like and even in low masters, junglers don't look at everything for some reason. So by doing that, just look at these two waves, you're gonna have a flat advantage. So I don't know how much you do it, but I just throw it out there, you know. Okay, awesome. We're winning on bot. Okay, so we're doing a full clear. So for example, okay, let's try you out. Ryan first, and Toby, you say if you're okay or not. So now you're doing these camps. So you're looking at mid and top. What can you tell me about top?
So I see it pushing in, and I see Poppy low. So I was definitely looking to gank top at this point. Now I was before the scuttle would spawn, because I still had some downtime before scuttle spawns, even after my full clear.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Yes, and I will add that even if Poppy is low, like she has a TP, so if she can hold the wave before this wave comes in, she can back TP, and then it's full HP Poppy, full mana Poppy. With the you're gonna get some HP back with Evelyn against a Teemo, and even if he has flash, like the lane is super long, like he cannot escape. So it's really good that you look at it. Awesome. And bot Lilia, but you see how you yes, you went to your level 6, but Lilia was able to play this game. She could have been able not to play. That's why I'm saying like the differential is even more important than just the gold and the XP you take. Okay, he's staying. Well, awesome. It's good that you looked and you kept your mind open and you went for Teemo instead of going straight to this guy. Does this plane stop your E?
Yeah, it does.
Did you cancel your... I mean, I didn't even know about this. Okay, big. I don't like this, though. Do you understand why I don't like that?
No, I thought it was just we killed him, so now we shoved the wave.
So now let's do some simple math. Let's think about Poppy's experience here. So she's sharing XP with you, she's sharing XP with you, she's sharing XP with you for a whole cannon wave plus a wave, etc, etc. Okay. Now let's look at Teemo experience. Boom. He's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 CS with a cannon solo. Now we change the plan and maybe Ryan. No, Toby. Toby as a laner. Oh, it's written here. Okay. Toby as a laner. Do you see it? That this is a freeze angle?
I'm always mindful of EXP, and let's see. Let me watch this one more time.
Because here now you change dimensions, and you're in a dimension where you just go straight for your scuttle. So it means you, Evelyn, you're still getting your XP. Don't worry about that. And actually, if we want to go further, I'm not gonna tell you need to do it, etc. Like when I play jungle, I don't do it. But here we see Lilia bot. We press tab. We see 16 CS and a red buff. Like you could actually know that there are camps up in her top jungle. I'm not saying it like, man, why did you not see it? It's so obvious, etc. It's pretty advanced, but in a perfect world, that's what you should be aiming for.
I think I do it. I'm not positive though. I might.
If you do it, it's awesome. Then you know that you could get during that time. So you spend time sharing XP on top lane. So you could tell me, yes, but fuck Poppy, I'm getting XP, I'm getting closer to my 6 CS. But you can get more XP by doing 2 camps. So this one and one in her top jungle. You know, like you don't know that she did scuttle, but you know, like there's at least 2 camps up here, or at least 1 camp up here, and a scuttle that you wanted to play. And during that time where you're just not there, now Poppy can freeze, Teemo has no TP, and she can deny the whole cannon wave, plus these 3 CS. So instead of denying...
Oh, go.
And then... What were you saying?
Oh, and then another thing is Teemo has no TP.
Yes.
So pushing in his wave, is going to take you longer, but he can't get to lane faster. You can't burn anything from him, and he's just going to catch the wave at the tower.
Yes, exactly. Like you gave Timo the time he needed to come back and get the experience, and so yeah, overall it's a losing play from now, at least, because yes, you killed him, but from now it's losing what you did, trying to push it in.
I think my bad. I don't mean to interrupt. Keep going.
No, it's okay. Like the only way it would have been maybe okay is if you're very selfish and you're like, yeah, it's gonna help me get my 6 and then I'm gonna still go for these camps.
I mean,
and
that
also
was
if
my-
this wave is not a cannon wave.
That was my mindset. My mindset was like, I'm kind of stealing XP to hit 6 faster, and I want to hit 6 faster. That was my mindset, like pushing in those waves. But it was like two things. It was like, I think it's still good to push just because Timo will like have to catch it, and I also like taxing early because I hit 6 quicker.
Okay,
off of like 1 or 2 camps.
But now imagine camp 1, maybe another, and now guess what's happened on top side? Timo has no flash, and the wave is still here. Boom,
Poppy
gank
has
again.
advantage too. EXP advantage.
EXP advantage, and also you can gank again. Because here, by doing that, now there's no gank opportunity on top side for a long time, and you're not gonna be top anyway. And you're back and you don't even go play for your scuttle. So it ends up being like you put Poppy in a very bad situation. Like she got the kill, but she's gonna be very behind, and you don't even get that much XP from it. So yeah, like as a jungler, you need to understand the waves even better than your laners. That's the problem with jungler. Like being a good jungler means understanding your jungle, but also understanding the lanes, where laners can understand a bit less of the jungle and still get away with it, in my opinion, at least. So, but hopefully I showed it to you, and actually like the fact that the next one was a cannon wave is also a big part. But here, yes, Timo could be absolutely fucked. You have time to take camps. We see Lilia bot. She's here at this point, and here you actually, but now look at Lilia's POV. And that's gonna be the last thing I show. Like, you're a jungler and you're dead at 140, but you're able to do 3 camps, gank bot, and she has no flash. 3 camps, scuttle, get bot, die again, do scuttle, and finish her full clear. So she got double scuttle and full clear, dying twice with no flash. In my book, it's not normal. In my book.
Yeah. Even I'm not a jungle mate, but I abuse. If I know the jungler's dead, I'm going straight to their buff and fucking them.
Yep.
That's how I play jungle.
So hopefully just seeing that deer having fun in her jungler and getting every single camp, hopefully it ticks, you know, and you will remember that for later. And she's not late at CS, etc. And she has a good base and everything. Okay, awesome. So now, I mean, we could do it at any point of the game. Just press pause, press play. And now let's look at bots. So set of information, bot lane. What do we have, Toby? Your, I mean, we don't care about your KDA. What we care about is your items. Let me see. What's the idea behind cloak here? In your
not enough money to buy pickaxe, so I just bought cloak. I can't buy boots either, because I have the runes for the boots.
Oh, okay. If you didn't have the rune, I would be, well, boots and attack speed would be the best buy here.
Yeah, but yeah, I just can't. So it was either buy 2 daggers or just the cloak.
Okay, that works, because yeah, it looks a bit weird. I don't know why, but it just feels.
Yeah, I actually never really ever do that. It was just
just
what it called for.
Okay, I can understand. Okay, so now we have this set of information, so you're still pretty strong. Okay, and your wave is like that. It's a cannon wave, and they look like they're pushing. Let's start with Toby. Can you try to make a plan now? Can you try to sequence Because your last sequence was over. Now you find your base and you come back and you have a red buff and you have some resource. What can be your plan here? What are you thinking of as a laner?
I mean, for me, right now, I just want to dominate lane and get Dragon Prio. Maybe look for a roam mid if it's allowed, but mainly just dominate the lane because I'm fed.
Okay. And can you translate dominate the lane in a practical way? What would that mean, dominate the lane?
Okay, best case scenario, kill. A worst case scenario, get full prio.
Okay. Okay, I'm seeing something here. How do you kill?
With Thresh Hook.
Okay. Actually, this is gonna be important for both of you guys, because again, like lanes are a big part of the game, or maybe like the most important part of the game. It as a laner and as a jungler, actually, your plays need to be connected to waves. Like the fact that you make a plan and don't connect it to waves. You could tell me yes, but I told you I want to push, so I want to push the wave, so it's connect. No, it needs to be connected to the waves one by one. So let's say this is wave 7 or I mean it's actually wave 6, I think.
Oh, shit, I'm like that. Hold on, I can't. Shit.
What's happening?
His
Alright,
mic
I can
died.
hear
He's plugging
again.
it in. Okay.
I can hear again.
Okay, nice. So yeah, I was saying like your plays needs to be connected to waves, but like the waves like wave by wave, not just saying I'm gonna perma push. No, this is a cannon wave. What do they want to do? Enemy team, like they're looking like they want to push it. Do they have time to crash it? Because it's a cannon wave and we're moving back to base. So for example, me, I'm telling you what I'm thinking of. I will move here. My jungler is top side, so I don't have information on Lilia. So I could ask. The good thing is I have my jungler in vocal, like, are you gonna be bot anytime soon? Do you want to play for Drake, etc. And then I would be like, okay, it's a cannon wave. They're trying to push it. I don't think they have the push potential to crush it. So I think we can be there on time, and we're gonna try to hold it until we have either information on Lilia, or we have Evelyn coming, or we have a Thresh Hook, and then maybe we can kill, etc. And if we can't, I'm just gonna hold the wave here and try to put my Thresh in a good position. Okay, if they manage to crash it, what's gonna happen? It's gonna slow push into them. So then I have made the next two waves after a cannon wave. The next two waves are gonna be normal waves, right? It's one cannon wave, two normal waves, one cannon wave, two normal waves. This is actually super important to have. This is not too advanced. It's like basic important knowledge. So now after this happens, the two next normal waves, I think I want to slow push them. I don't want to hard push the next wave that's gonna come, because then it means that I have a timer on the normal wave, and I want to have a timer on the cannon wave to maybe back again, or play for a Drake, or maybe rotate even to mid lane. That could be a play as a bot lane. And I would be thinking of that. As a laner, whether it's top lane, bot lane, mid lane, you should be connected to the waves. And you could make a call to your Evelyn saying that, well, in 3 waves, I know it sounds a bit advanced, but it's actually like simple math. We could play for Drake. We're gonna have a timer. Okay. So yeah, that's what killing them means, because you can't just walk and kill them. And even if Thresh hits a hook, like if they're in this position and Lilia is coming, you can hit a hook. You might get 2v3'd, or if Yone is there as well. Like it's gonna be putting myself in a position to kill them. That's a good plan. And how do you do that? With the waves, with the etc. And we'll see if I was right. Do they not have the time to crash it? Well, actually, they do have the time to crash it. So now it crashed, and he missed that hook. Okay, Lilia is dead. And now we have this non-cannon wave that I talked about, and we will have the next one. But actually, maybe they can just perma push on you, which I didn't think of. In that case, it kind of changes the plan, and we're just gonna keep the wave here until, again, Evelyn is here, or until we hit a hook, basically. But it needs to be connected to the waves, and you need to keep in mind that this wave is not a cannon, but the next one will be a cannon. It's important for your timers and the plans you're gonna make. Okay, and now we put at the same time random timer. I mean, we kinda saw what happened, but what would be your plan here, Ryan? So
I'm just
let's see the
hoping.
information. You spend some gold. You have your dark seal that you can start stacking. You're doing top camps. Your bot camps are done. So you should look at mid and top. And yeah, what would be the plan?
Well, looking back at it, honestly, I probably just would always just go for Krugs, just because like the risk of like counter gank from Lilia, I don't think is worth me just not doing my full sequence. That's usually my biggest thing. Is like I would rather have a set plan that works, cookie cutter, like hit 6 and then rather than look for stuff that is like not necessarily guaranteed. Because if I full clear my jungle twice, like my level 6 is guaranteed, right? But if I like try to look for stuff like, oh, maybe a Yone gank, there's always the chance of like, okay, well Yone flashes away or Lilia comes and counter ganks, and there's too much variance in that. And I like to have a set like plan, I guess, and that could be like my downfall too, is that I'm pretty set on like what I want to do, and I don't like to stray too far from that unless it immediately benefits me. And the only thing that immediately benefits me is like taking XP, taking camps, and hitting 6 as fast as possible, rather than like trying to help like some mid laner or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, the answer I was expecting was not mid lane gank, because I know it looks juicy, but it's not obvious. You don't have your invis yet. Maybe you're gonna walk on a ward. Maybe Lilia is gonna be there. And Malzahar has no flash. I mean, he's getting his flash, and you're also really close to level 6. I mean, not really, but after this gank and Krugs, you're gonna be really close. So I don't mind it, because here you have a lack of information. You know, like the map is pretty blurry. You know, you don't know where Lilia is. So I don't mind it. Earlier I minded it because you had clear info that Lilia was dead and had no flash, etc., etc. Here it's less clear, so I wouldn't mind that you do this and you do golems. The only thing I would say that the way you talk about it, I feel like you feel that if you go to mid, like it's either you commit to a mid gank or you commit to Krug, and you'd rather commit to Krug because it's safer, and I agree, better safe than sorry, no problem. But the thing is, so again, I'm not a jungler main, but the way I see it, I don't think you have to instant do your golems into back instant to do your camps again. I think like you have a bit of time, like you have a little timer, and it's okay to just walk there, just in case, you know. Like I used to think when I was younger and maybe a platinum player on the Rift, I was like, man, being a challenger player must be so cool. You're always doing something, you're always killing, you're outplaying everything, etc. And then I climbed and climbed and I climbed. I got to GM and I played in challenger games, and I realized what makes a challenger player is his patience, and not the fact that he's actually always doing something. Is that for me, there's a high chance that a challenger Evelyn would just sit here and wait for Yone to maybe Q3 in, and then he goes. And that's how they're always there at the right time at the right moment. It's not because they just came at the right time at the right moment. It's because they were waiting there patiently that something happened. Because here, like, yeah, if you go, there's nothing that guarantees you that you can get the kill, etc. I mean, it kind of looks juicy though. 330 HP, but he has flash, he has ignite, etc. But by standing there, like, imagine now you're here and he queues in, you know it's a kill, right? So it's okay to wait. It's okay to just chill, be there, be patient. Again, I'm not saying it's the best play, but just from the way you answered my question, I feel like, yeah, you feel like you commit to either this or this, when actually you can keep it as an option. I will clear my camp and then I wait here, for example, and I wait just a bit and I look at mid. If nothing looks juicy, I go top, and if it does look juicy, I go mid. But yeah, you don't have to be like clicking as fast as possible. So yeah, that's here. It's actually very okay. There's no problem. Plus Marzar was pushing, but you get the idea and the concept like long term, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then we're doing top cam, so we're looking at top and mid, and good job, Azar. And we see that this happens again. So now we can gank the Teemo. Why not? Nice execution. And here, I would agree with pushing the wave. You still have a freeze, but I would agree with pushing the wave. Do you understand why? Now that we looked at the last the situation.
Poppy doesn't have health.
Yep. Poppy is very low in HP and she has no TP. The last time Poppy was super healthy and had full mana, etc. Here she's low, so if she stays and freezes the wave, when Teemo comes back, he can just get her out of lane. And also this waves, guys, it's super important. This is not a cannon wave. It's super easy to push. Because if it was a cannon wave, Poppy can just actually keep these minions, reset, and come back, and the minions, these ones plus the cannon wave, would have denied your ally cannon wave, and Poppy would come back and not lose golden experience, and Teemo would lose the whole wave. But if it's a cannon wave that you try to push, it would do the same thing as before. It means you would share XP with Poppy, and Teemo would get the whole wave. So this is important, guys. It should enter in your calculations whether it's a cannon wave or not a cannon wave. It makes a whole difference. Okay, but here I really like it. It's really appropriate, and I will of course reset because you have no mana. But we had an opportunity. Let's see if it was a thresh hook. Most likely. Thresh E still works. I don't know what she got in E range. Okay, I mean so far so good. Like the game looks pretty good to this point. We're not, for me, like to this point, we're not making any big mistakes, but we made a lot of missed opportunities. It's mostly that, and we could argue that a missed opportunity is a mistake. Okay, so now. Of course, like everything has a cost. So when you spend time top and ganking and helping pushing, well, it can cost you something, and in that case, it costs you a Drake. Very nice hook. Now, Toby, what are you gonna do after you crash this wave?
I mean, I look mid here. Depending on how much gold I have too. Maybe take a plate. But I see my junglers here, so I really want the dragon.
Yes, so I would argue that at this point, so you need to think about like time in this game. Like everything you do is to buy yourself time. Even when you buy AD, it's because now it takes you less time to kill a CS, to kill a turret, to kill an enemy. Like time is the ingredient that's common to everything. In life, in game, etc. The only ingredient to every single recipe in a book is time. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, etc. And it's the same in this game. So here, by crashing, you are offering yourself time, basically.
Yes.
And you know that these guys are really low. So I would... Here, it's the moment that you can give information in the vocal. Earlier, like when Ryan is killing Teemo here, it's okay to let him focus on his play and not be like, okay, we're doing this, etc. But when Ryan is moving to bot side, of course, Ryan, it's also your job to look at bot, what's happening, etc. But for example, these guys are super low. If we look at all, like these guys are super low, I would call for a dive or at least for a dragon. Like I would say, man, we have prio, they're out. Let's do something. For me, Ryan, the worst thing you can do here right now is doing your bot camps. Now you have level 6. You spent your gold. You have sorcerer shoes. And you have a timer bot. For me, you should look to either go dive these guys or go play for the Drake. Okay? Now, so that should be the plan, right? I don't know if it was at the moment, but in my opinion, that should be the plan, and that's the moment where the DuoQ comes into place. Like, that's the moment you talk to each other. You say, man, they're super low. They're out. They have no sums. Let's go. Let's dive. Let's do something. It's level 6 Evelyn. What are they gonna do? Like, they have no way out. So now that would be the plan. Yes, I love that. And now let's see how the plan changes, because there will be a new information. Oh, you didn't check it? Wait, let's see your vision. What happened? Okay, well, you see it now, right? It doesn't cost you much as a jungler to change your pathing a bit just to check the...
Yeah, I just didn't expect it at all. It seemed so bad that yeah, I just didn't expect it.
Okay. Well, I mean, now you see it for the future, you know.
Yeah, I can probably like never make that mistake again. If I'm in the area, I literally just had to click once. I had to click like one more time.
Yeah. So I'm happy you see it.
I am kind of zoned in on this bot dive though.
I still don't think it should change the play. I think... Where are the pings?
We're talking.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I actually asked him. I was like, "So how do you want me to play this?" He said, "Let's focus Lilia." That's what we said in chat. That's what we said in vocal comms.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
okay.
I saw Lilia coming. I said,
Okay.
"How do we want to play this?" He said, "Let's focus Lilia." I said, "Okay." That's
Okay,
what we
okay,
did.
that works. As long as you make a decision and stick to it, I'm fine with it. I would argue like the best way to play it, like you still have CS. I would say spam ping for Thresh because he's not in vocal with you, so he knows that we're going. Because like if we look at it, I think we both like we're three, but we all see that we have time to kill this guy. So if you take the aggro and then you ult to drop the aggro, and then we can turn on Lilia. That's a play that's possible, etc. And that would be the best, the higher risk, higher reward, but it's not even too risky. Like your ult by itself, it does only the ult one shot Senna. You just need to get in ult range and you kill Senna, basically. And so if you manage to put your W and start dealing damage to MF, you can actually double kill them. But it's okay as long as you focus on the decision and commit to it. But then I would still like the pings just for Thresh. Like, do not forget that you guys, not everyone is in vocal, and Thresh, like, he doesn't know what do we want to do. Okay, so let's say we focus Lilia. So let's see how we do it. I mean, yeah, she's supposed to be dead here. Okay, she flashed for some reason. Do not ult, no need to ult. Awesome. We still killed. Okay, it works. As long, again. Just hold the wave. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Okay, that's...
Yeah, we were like, just let me push,
Yeah, and then I did that too quickly.
Yeah,
like I didn't need to do it.
Now look at what I would have done. You know, when I talk about challengers doing insane plays and actually they're just patient, as Evelyn, you just
waited
stand here
in the bush.
So not in the bush. You hold that wave, so that wave doesn't get in turret. And
I've done that before. I don't know why. I just zoned in. I was just impatient.
Yeah,
but
you
I
got
could
a
see.
bit too hyped up.
Yeah.
So yeah, just hold the wave. 3 CS to kill, and then you can just walk, and Senna is dead. No need to get too excited. I mean, we still get the kill. Now we clear the wave. Awesome, and now we're gonna back and have a pretty good base. Hopefully we back after this CS, right? Tempo. I wouldn't go for this plating.
Oh, I guess
Depends. Okay, you see what I looked for? If this was not a cannon wave, I would 100% not go for the platings. The fact that this is a cannon wave make me think, okay, maybe I can go for the plating, because now Thresh can lantern me, and by the time they crash the wave themselves...
Yeah, my mindset was, I can probably get this plate before they come and Thresh lanterns me. And then I think I pinged for Thresh here.
But if that wave was not a cannon wave, you would lose a whole wave, right? The fact that it's a cannon... Pew 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 pew. I mean, you still miss. You missed.
Yeah.
Still miss a
I
lot.
still miss.
You miss everything.
Mhm.
It was not worth plating.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so tempo, tempo, tempo. Yeah, these guys push pretty hard, like Senna MF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
push
previously,
faster than I expect, for sure.
yeah, me as well, I have to admit. Okay, I mean, let's do it maybe one more time for early game, and then we're gonna get faster into the game because we could do that on every single play. But I know you guys talked to me about struggling to end the game. But I mean, it's pretty interesting. Like we had a lot to talk about, and we see some common themes, you know, like the waves, the mindset, also the not enough like aggressive, like getting into it. Like we're here to run the game. The game is not gonna drive us. We're driving the game. Like we're
So I think that's the thing between me and Zhao where we have our differences. I'm more of the aggressive, but since I play with him, I always end up just make sure I survive until he's 6.
But you
That's
still got
pretty
5
much
kills
our
there.
dynamic. I mean, I have 5 kills, but like I know I can do this pretty safely.
Yes.
But I would love to just dominate people. If we have any type of advantage, just fucking run them down. That's what I would love to do.
But the thing is, yeah, I understand, and but it's not only the fact that you're playing with the human Ryan. It's his pick, you know. Like if it was
Exactly. It's
Xin
his
Zhao,
pick.
or if it was Shaco, you could be way more aggressive.
Yeah, and that's why I understand that. I understand that he gets huge. He gets absolutely massive most of the games. So I have no issues with playing early, knowing that he's going to scale. Basically.
Okay, nice. But yes, this one is a bit more on Ryan, probably like on the mindset part, and on you it would be more the not only the wave management, because there's a bit, but it's not either bad wave management, like straight up bad, but it's just like connecting your thinking to the waves, understanding that when you're a laner, like that's your responsibility. That's what you're working with. And I'm certain, yes, I pressed tab. I didn't even look at you CSing, but I was certain you were far from 10 CS minute. And it's not because of mechanics. Like you did not miss them by not clicking on them. You missed them by not being there when they were here to be taken.
And now that like you were going through this with me, I realize that's another issue. I have to master waves. That's another core issue.
Yes, and it works in mid, in bot, but it works in mid. Even if mid is a bit easier to manage since the wave is so short. So if you can just get to a point where you one shot it with Tiamat, I don't know if you play Hydra on Z. Most probably.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So at some point, like you don't need to think too much about it, but it's still gonna be important. Like as a mid laner, you rotate on the cannon wave, you rotate on the non-cannon wave. It makes a whole difference. Whole difference. Okay.
And I do mine cannon waves, but it's like I don't get too in depth, so that's something that I do need to work on is the straight wave mechanics.
Yep. Okay. So we're backing, I'm guessing, for an item, for something. Okay. There's maybe one more thing I want to talk about early game, is you guys told me that Ryan would maybe struggle to play for objectives. And in this game, the 1-4-1 Lilia got Herald and Drake. So let's see if there's like one small thing you could change in order to be more proactive on the objectives. I mean, for me, like an objective is an objective. Like it's the timer, and you need to know way before like how it's gonna go. Like for example, this is a pretty good timer for you. For being bot. I mean, it would be even better if you were a bit later bot. But you know, like you're gonna clear a bot to top, you're gonna do something top, and then you're gonna be back bot, just on time to either like do Drake or put vision on Drake. So if you have prio, then mid and bot, and you're there, there's no reason you don't do Drake. So now let's see just what gets you out of your timer, because here we see it's in 149. Is there something that gets you out of your Drake timer? Let's say there was nothing to do top. You could just base and go bot and start setting up vision for the first Drake, right? But now
Yeah.
you gank, which is more than okay. It's the right play here. This kinda got you out of tempo, but it's okay though. Now we're pushing. Yeah, how perfect would that? I mean, yeah, she went and checked it. I think you can still take it. Okay, so now you know that the Drake is gonna be up in 8 seconds, and you're there, and you have bot prio, and you have a Kaisa, and you probably have mid prio. So what makes it that we're not considering Drake here? Let's see what you do instead. Is it this vision?
I guess so. But I mean, I wouldn't have taken Dragon. I was only going to that for the scuttle.
I personally think, like, as his duo, he prefers or he zones into getting stronger over winning objectives.
Mm.
And that's a core issue.
Because yeah, here, like, yes, you have a timer to base, but I feel like, I mean, Malzahar is perma pushing, like, the whole game. Like, even if right now it looks bad, like, Yone has no wave. Yone is not gonna move. We had info on Lilia being bot and dying bot, etc. So most likely she's not going bot again. And we have bot prio. You just cleared the wave. The next blue wave is here. So it's actually, you have a perfect Drake timer here. And you have a Kaisa. And Kaisa, with her passive, is a Drake Shredder. So I think, like, maybe it's just the fact that you need to convince yourself that actually Drake helps you scale. It helps you scale. It's a good, like, first, because it buys you time. And maybe it's gonna show in this game. Yeah, like, they're on soul point, so you don't end up losing because of soul, etc. But having a Drake, an extra Drake, like, imagine it was opposite and you had the first one. Now you are on soul point, and now on this time you have a winning play, maybe. So it helps Evelyn a lot. Every scaling champion thrives on having Drake, because how do you counter scaling? You counter it by ending the game early. How do you get the game early? You get fast Drakes, and you get a fast soul or pressure on the Drake timer to do Nash to end the game, something like that. So maybe you need to internalize and get convinced that this actually helps Evelyn. It's not a waste of time at all. It actually helps you. It gives you a lot of time for later. It's a really good investment to take. And also it's really good for everyone, like the Hextech Drake, like attack speed and ability haste on your Kaisa. Looks good, no? So
Yeah. I know that dragons are win cons, so I'd love to prioritize them.
So maybe if you're good friends, Toby, tell him. That's it.
I think this is something that we discuss almost every other game, right, Ryan? We always discuss that. Yeah.
Okay.
We know that's the weakness, but at the same time, we couldn't pinpoint the reason why we couldn't take it. So that's why we wanted a coach, basically.
Okay. Well, guys, like, the best way to get to masters, it's actually not to win LP. Like, you need a shit ton of LP, so you need an insane win streak to get to masters, and it's actually not the fastest way. The fastest way is your knowledge. It's learning new things, having new plays, understanding the game better. So that's why it's a really good reflex to get coach today. But to get your knowledge up, you need to try things out. So maybe after this coaching, accept to maybe sacrifice some games, because maybe it's gonna be losing because you're not used to play for the Drakes, etc. But maybe go after this coaching for the next 4, 5, 6 games and try to get soul. Give yourself this objective. It's okay even not to play for the Nexus, play for the soul. And this way, if you play, let's say, 10 games in a row, and you play 4 soul, and even when you're mid, it doesn't matter that your bot, etc. As a mid, you can help a lot on Drakes. And then you see how much you've learned. You see, thank you so much, Buzzy, for the follow. And you see where it gets you. Basically, I think it could be a very good drill, you know. It could be a
Yeah.
very good exercise and experiment. And maybe, Ryan, you will see that then when we play for Drakes, we have so much more pressure, or this soul is super good, or whatever, or just you realize that, okay, but it's sketchy because it's hard to do. Like, for example, you're like, it's so... it's not normal that Lilia gets it, because when you're on the red side of the map, you're supposed to have access on Drake and they have access on Herald, right? Just because of how the map is built. So maybe it's gonna be way harder on the blue side, but Lilia still went for it and she still got it, you know. So yeah, I think that could be a good drill. I think that could be a really, really good drill. Try to get everything, try to force yourself to overplay for objectives, and I think you could get surprised by the timers you could get, like this one, for example. So yes, she got it because of your mistake, because you didn't check it. But guess what? Like, you're in the same elo. Enemy junglers are gonna make this kind of mistakes. So yeah, I think it could be a good one. I actually knew someone who... Yeah?
I have to save this dog, bro. It's drowning.
There's a dog drowning?
Drowning. Unless it's a...
What the fuck? Well, run! A
Come
second. What
I'm
happened?
sorry. I live on the water, and there's a dog. I thought it was a duck, but it's a fucking wolf. Hey! Come here!
Can you turn your cam on?
I can turn my cam on. I should probably be recording this.
I will send you the replay.
Okay, but I think I can still learn at the same time. Let me just mute myself.
Yeah. Is the dog okay?
It's swimming, but it has no way out, which concerns me. But
I mean, the dog is supposed to know how to swim. But yeah, if he has
Yeah.
no way out, he's gonna...
It needs coaching.
but anyway, I'm just gonna mute myself and y'all continue.
Okay. I mean, I'm a bit concerned for the dog, so if you need to do anything, you know what, do it. We can wait. You just tell us. Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
okay, no, I mean right now it's pretty passive, so I'll let you know.
And dog is in river, waiting to gank.
The dog is in river right now.
That's so funny, bro.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so we were to a point where they got the herald. I'm gonna go a bit faster now. We're getting into mid game. The game is gonna be a bit different. So at this point, you're 7k gold ahead. Okay, I missed a Drake timer. I missed a lot actually. So where were we? Ah, but yeah, herald doesn't show. I don't know why in the timestamps. Anyway, at this point we're stomping the game. Like looks like a very, very winnable game. So I know exactly what we're gonna do for the transition to mid-late game and the last exercise. I mean, why not? Again, I mean, if you have info on Lilia, holding the wave is a really good play as a jungler. Like, just standing in the wave. So this way, if they walk to you, you just kite them back, and your bot lane gets the turret. And if they don't walk to you, you just hold the wave, your bot lane push in, and then you dive. But here, like the fact that you let the wave here, you see, like you give them time, because now your team has to clear that wave before it's in a good position. Okay, so now we're going back bot. Bot has prio. I mean, he's backing, I'm guessing, for mythic, or he has it already. Oh no, he just bought it. It's a Kaisa with Kraken. You have your mage eyes already. Okay, now that I see it. Yeah, it's a bit desynchronized, but I mean, it still kinda works, I guess. Okay, not the cleanest, but it worked. Like, I mean, you could have gotten that in like 10 different ways. And now we killed the bot lane. Yes, if that is not a Drake timer, I don't know what is. The only issue is, yeah, maybe we don't have Malzar and Yune could be there, but okay, that's really fine. The damage you guys have. Okay, at this point, I think, yeah. So you look at the game, even during the game, you're like, we cannot lose this one, right?
Yeah, it was like that one was just like completely more obvious than like a usual scenario.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good. So now we will have a lot to learn. So we cannot lose the. By the way, look, I tell it. Please tell me Red wins this game. We'll see, Buzzy. We'll see. Okay, so for example, it happens to me sometimes. I'm in game and I'm on stream. I'm like, okay, this game is won. We're winning this one. It's a stomp. This is not relevant information. Now we're gonna get to the very practical point. We're at 14 minutes, and we want to win this game, basically. So at 14 minutes, now for the next like 3, 4, 5 minutes, it's a bit of a lull state. Like you cannot, unless it's a giga supra stomp, you cannot just walk on a lane with a wave and just push it to the Nexus. It's not gonna work. From 14 to 20, it's a period where you're supposed to get as much resource as possible, to deny them resources, to set up vision, try to make picks, etc. Try to get your items, but the goal is to keep your resources, your summoners, your ultimates, etc. for the objectives, and stack up objectives until you can like force a fight, etc. Like, of course, if they do big mistakes, they overcommit, you kill them, you just push. But the best thing to do is to play for objectives, and if they don't come to you at this point, like you do a Drake, you do a Nash, they don't come, well, you just get the Drakes, get the Nash till you have Soul and Nash, and you can just push and finish the game. So if they're playing super passive, you just win by default. And if they come to you, well, guess what? You have 7k lead, you're giga fed, you all have like, you have item completed, item completed, item completed versus no item, no item, no item. You just win the team fight. So it's win or win. At this point, it's supposed to be checkmate. We see in a very practical way how we do it. So for example, like you should, yeah, look for picks, look for jungle camps, deny as much as possible to the Lilia. This is really good. We're still on the right path. We're still doing a great job. There's no Drake for the next 4 minutes and 20, but there's a Herald in 123. So we should play for Herald, right? That should be our play. Nothing else to take. So 123. You're Evelyn. What's your best route to play for Herald here? What's the best thing? Like if you could.
Probably like my blue side into recall into Herald.
That's it.
Because I can do it fast enough.
And where do you send where do you send 1.5 items Kai'Sa? Does she go bot? Does she go mid? Does she go top?
I think she goes mid or mid or top, I guess. Because either anything close to Herald. It kind of just depends on where Poppy and Malzahar move, I guess.
Yes. And that's it. So now let's see. Plan is simple. We clear. Yeah. You see? For me, the fact that you don't take your blue, it's not because like you had the red gold for something, it's just because you don't connect your plays with the objectives. Now, by just looking at there's a Herald in 110, and you just look at it, you just tell me. I clear my bot, and then I play for Herald, because here you're gonna be late. If now, when you come back from base, you go bot to top. Okay. Psych. You got me. You're past, you got me. But, okay, we're not... Nah, no, everyone, no! That's not the play, yeah. Okay, you see it now. We talked about it. So you guys need to connect your plays to the objectives. That's it. The fact that there are 3 topside enemies on the objective side, and you guys are diving an MF for turrets that's gone anyway on a timer where you're backing, etc. And you have, look at all this vision: 1 ward, 2 wards, 3 wards, 4 wards, 5, like 5 wards with this one on bot side. when the objective is top. Where's vision? So you
Yeah.
see what I mean? They have a pink on Herald. It's actually insane, like how big of a lead you have, but on this side of the map, you're playing from behind a lot. So hopefully, like, you can still manage to get it because you're so ahead and you have time and they cannot just get it. But look at Lilia. Good boy. So yes, still you get it, but Lilia was super right to play for it because they have objective bounties. So Herald by himself, something made me laugh in chat. Lilia by itself gives an objective bounty, and then it can unlock like 2 objective bounties if they put it bot, for example. So it's okay for her to die, to risk dying and giving 300 for an opportunity to get 1500 gold, for example.
Yeah.
But you were not there, and if Mother and Thresh, look at who saved the day. It's not the insane duo that wants to get 2 masters. It's these randoms.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this sticks again. That's your responsibility. As you said that that this guy's responsibility is to play with waves for Toby. Yours is to play for objectives. You're the jungler. And you can do it together. Like you can call him and say, okay, I want to play Herald now. Come with me top. And if he's like, yeah, but Mother is pushing mid, I have no resource, you can tell him, you know what, take my red buff and take 1 camp if you want. You're gonna get resources, don't worry about that. I'm invading anyway, Lilia has nothing. But we need to play for it. Okay, now guess what? Objectives. 215 for Cloud Drake, 325 for Nash. Okay, let's just play for that. So how do we do it? How are we in 2 minutes ready to do the Drake? You tell me.
Clear red side. Maybe scuttle. Recall. And then set up vision on their red side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Like
if you do the whole top side, you're not gonna be there on time to set up vision for the Drake. You're gonna be there on time to do the Drake, but not to set up vision. Like usually when you want to put vision for an objective is like 1 minute, 1 minute 20 before, between 1 minute and 1 minute 30 before it spawns. And then, so you set up your vision, you reset, you buy control words again, the support gets his wards up, etc. And then you deploy on the map again with your new wards, etc. And you already have vision and you will know where they're coming from. That's in ideal world. Of course, it's solo queue, it's not gonna happen this way. And it's okay, like you don't need vision here, actually. Like you don't need vision to know that you can get the Drake. Again, as I said, at this point you're so ahead that it's either you just do the Drake and they don't come and you got it, or if they come, you just win the 5v5. Whether you have vision or not. Like there's no way. Plus you have the right side, so you just pull the Drake here, so they don't have the wombo. They can't just MF ult into Lilia ult, Senna ult, and Yone ult, basically. That's it. So you have different good options. You could go and set up vision now if you want and let your top, etc. But you don't need to. It's okay to go for top camps, reset, top camps, all of them. So you see again, for me that's your biggest mistake. Yes, you're giga fed, you have 2 items, etc. But you're not sequencing correctly. You're not integrating the camps to your sequences. If it makes sense, for me that's the biggest issue. So for me, yeah, here you would have done blue buff, Krugs, you reset now, and you come back so a bit later, and you come back on time to do this camp, and maybe look for a pick and do Drake. Shutdown on Toby died? What killed Toby? I mean, he killed himself, most likely. And Toby, if you still hear us, it's the same for you. When I said about like not wasting resources, etc., you have your ults. It's for Drake. That's not what we're playing for. Playing for, yeah, like trading a whole HP bar. That's a flex play. Like that's for the cameras. You're playing for the cameras. simple things, guys. Okay, and you missed the flash, because if you actually flash this way, it can be okay because you have the you have the herald, etc. But guys, objective, simple plays. Even if you're giga ahead, don't get cocky. I actually played a game against Spear Shot a few weeks ago. We were 11k gold ahead at 12 minutes, and we lost it. We lost it because we started playing for the cameras, and
Yeah.
we realized too late that no, we like no emotions. Just play for, just do the right play. Do what the game calls for, and you're gonna end. Like for me, the game is over in 4 minutes and a half. Like Ryan, tell me from now. We're at 18 minutes. Can you try to tell me a plan, a sequence? It's gonna be a long one. But a sequence that ends up with, and then we break the Nexus. So you find a plan with the resets, etc. It might be hard if you never done it this way, but try to find a blade that ends up with you getting the Nexus.
Just like, I guess, like, I don't know, soul into Baron.
Soul into Baron. Okay, well, it doesn't get the Nexus. What do you do after?
Soul into Baron, into most of the time late game, I'm just Evelyn, like deep, really deep into mid lane, like past our wave, just looking for a pick, and then just ending like that way. Usually I kind of just like base dive, like kill like 2 to 3 people in the late game. That's how I win most of my games. I don't really have, I guess I kind of win, I guess I'm kind of getting lucky in a certain sense, because I kind of just go for picks, really. Like I've just played so much Evelyn that I can find picks really easily, but I don't necessarily know why that wins me games. I guess I don't know. I just get a lot of picks, like 20 kills type of games, and that's how I win. I don't think I win by like a thought process. I kind of just kill people until it's kind of like in chess when like there's like checkmating someone and then there's like taking all their pieces. I'm like the same way in chess too, which is kind of a weird thing, but like I don't really see the checkmates. I kind of just see I take all the pieces, but I don't really know how to form a checkmate. Same thing like in
I see. Okay. Well, this is something like everything. Like you can work on it. There are some simple exercises you can do, and the best one is just forcing yourself into finding one. Like just like so you play chess. You've played it, and
yeah.
So in that case, like just like in chess, you could do it. Is try to force yourself. Okay, I'm seeing like the pieces, etc. Look at the king. And here I'm just saying, like, look at the Nexus. Actually, it's something that I did at some point. I was struggling with my knowledge and improving at the game, and I was like, there's something missing. Like, what's the goal when you get in a league game? Like, what are we all playing for? We're playing for to get the Nexus. So what if instead of thinking from early to mid to late game, like we all do, what if I start thinking from the Nexus? Like, start by the end and see what's the closest way to that. So in order to get the Nexus, what do I need? I need these turrets. Okay, but to get these turrets, I need this inhib or an inhib. But to get an inhib, I need a T3. To get a T3, I need a T2. To get a T2, I need a T1. Boom. Fastest way to Nexus is mid, straight line to Nexus. And that's how you know, like, that's your answer to why T1 is the most important of the game. Yes, it's for access to the jungle and vision and whatever, but it's also basically because it's the fastest road to mid lane. That's why the Herald was okay. I mean, it's better on the timer after you kill them, but yeah, if we can, so at any point in the game, if you ask yourself, can I just push mid, get these and the Nexus? And the answer is yes, do not do anything else. Like you see me sometimes as Trynd, I have clips, I have videos where everyone is fighting for Elder, etc. And I'm just like, but can I not just push and get these and end the game? Yes, well, I just do it. And that's it. That's what we're playing for. But now, of course, there's going to be extra steps. It's not going to be always that easy. And that's why NASH is important, because NASH helps you just push and siege and get a turret and get an inhib, etc. And why is, like, for example, bot inhib, why is it a good inhib to take? It's not because it's access to these guys and to finish the game. It's because bot inhib helps you get NASH, which helps you siege and take turrets to get the Nexus, etc. So you need to think about it and try to find a play that ends up with and we get the Nexus. Of course, with Evelynn it's a bit hard because you're not the one pushing the turrets. Like Evelynn, when you're under turrets, they get vision on you, right? Like when you're in, and it's not even turret range; it's even bigger, no? Or it's only turret.
Yeah,
range?
it's like a little bit bigger because there's there's like a turret range and then there's the turret's true sight range, which is even bigger.
Yeah, exactly. So with Evelynn, like you didn't have to think a lot about it because it's not your mission to be the one at least like just hitting actually the objectives, etc. Your goal is to make picks, etc. Be like infernal to match in the jungle because what they want to do, enemy team, they want your objectives as well. But what if there is an invisible Evelynn somewhere, they don't know where, that can one-shot them? That's terrible. So your mission is to do that, to kill them in order to get the objectives, just not to kill them and then you kill them again and you hope that something happens. You kill them for something, you kill them for an objective. Now your team can siege and start pushing lanes, etc. And you come, flank, and like just maybe flash in like try to dive. Like that's what you can try to do basically. Like you're not supposed to be here to siege, and you set up your team for success basically. But the good thing is you have Toby and playing with you. Like here he's playing ADC, but sometimes he's playing Z. So now you can both of you guys can go for the dive, or you can send Toby on a side lane, and you can be on a side lane also. Like it's not like everyone has zero push power. Like if there's no one around you, you can actually 1-3-1. Like you could go top if there's no one defending on you. Well, you have a lot of AP. When you have a lot of AP, you have a lot of turret damage, and you can actually push turrets after having Nash, for example. So now we'll see in a practical way. For me, like you put me in 18 minutes in this game, what I would say. So I would look at the goal. Like everyone is giga fed, etc. Why not take the Drake? It's not on the same timer. If it was Drake and Nash on the same timer, I wouldn't care about the Drake. I would just get Nash. Here, like, you have 2 minutes for Nash, so why not take the Drake? So let's just take prio on the waves. Let's just put this kind of vision, which is really good. And then we just take the Drake. Again, if they come, you win it. You guys have 2 items versus 1 on everyone. And if they don't come, you get it. And then we send either Poppy or no one bot. Because here, like, no need to split, like, you win the 5v5. So we either send Poppy because she has the TP, or we send no one bot lane, and then we go as 5 on Nash, and the same thing. We just chill on Nash. You can go as 5 and dance here. What are they gonna do? They come, they die, they don't come, you get the Nash. So we'll see how we make that simple play complicated. 40 seconds. No, why we're flashing? What, you see what I mean? So now you spend flash and R when Nash is spawning in a minute and 40 seconds. So now you have no flash for Nash, and you have no R for the Drake. I mean, you're not gonna need the R for the Drake, but the flash for the Nash could be useful. So here you flashed, and look at what you got. This damage on the turret. That's what your flash got you. And yes, a kill maybe, but man, you're full stacked on your Magi's. You don't need it. And now the Drake is spawning, and we're gonna be a bit late on it. There's absolutely... And now you have no flash, no R, you die. Shut down. Okay, you don't die, but see how close it was. Why are you risking it? And also, like, you could be like, yeah, we're getting the Drake a bit later, etc. No, you need to get it as fast as possible, because if for some reason you don't manage to end the game after getting the Nash, well, you can get soul like earlier. Like if you get this Drake 1 minute earlier, and the next 1 minute earlier, and the next one, well, it's soul 4 minutes earlier that you could have had. And it's maybe Elder Drake. And then even with Elder Drake, now you know that you can end the game like super easily. Like you one-shot absolutely everyone. And now we're late. And now, even if we're late, Nash is in 27 seconds. Okay. We have big amount of items. We're backing. So Poppy is gonna die. It's okay if Poppy dies. She's still gonna be there for the Nash timer. We don't have to go. We don't have to save her. Or we could take this fight, but we're fighting for Nash. Keep that in mind, always. We're not doing that to try to kill them all. Okay, at least we're pushing mid. But you see how, yeah, it's legit never connected. I really like what Mazar is doing though. It's really good. Playing pressure bot. And it's still a pretty easy Nash for our team. Okay, let's forget about everything that happened. Now we have bot inhib. And I told you why it's good, because now you don't even have to send Poppy bot. Someone in their team will have to go bot to defend the bot inhib. So now you can be 5v4 on Nash side with 10k gold ahead. So now let's say Yone defense, so you're 17k gold ahead. Again, now we're just waiting for everyone. If you need to base, yes, you need to base, just back. Just press B. And now you call Toby. You say, Toby, we're playing for Nash, go mid. And for me, as a jungler, you should never go to Gromp at this point. Like, the more bot you can go is blue buff. And for Lilia, the more bot she can go is red buff. Like, this is the line now we're playing on. We're not playing bot for the next 3 minutes. We're playing for Nash. And we're looking for an opportunity to do Nash. You have Kai'Sa. You can actually, like, legit duo it. Damn. That ends up happening. And I mean,
yeah, this was like one of our biggest throws.
I mean, I don't have much to say. Like, for me,
yeah, we just don't have a real plan.
Yeah.
Besides just kill.
Yep. What are we fighting for? Basically, that's it. I mean, yes, here there's a bit of a mechanical mistake also from Dobby, but he has no ult. Does he have his ult? He has no ult. When did he use his ult? Wait, how long is his ult cooldown? What's happening? It's Giga.
Yo, Joust, can you stream his stream?
Yeah.
Also, I hope this dog isn't a skinwalker.
You saved it?
I saved it, bro.
Awesome.
It started drowning as I pulled up on it. It's crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, I can't see the stream, so
okay. Wait. I mean, the best way. I should have done it from the start. I can stream it myself. Okay.
Are you gonna be back at the computer, Toby?
I'm kind of with his dog. I don't know what to do with it.
So now you have a dog? You just have. But do you live next to a lake or something?
I live next to the ocean or the bay.
Ah. Damn. Well,
I'm kind of scared. Skinwalker, bro.
Does he have a collar? Does he have something? A tattoo?
No collar.
Damn. I don't know. Maybe it's your dog now.
I don't know. I can't have a dog, but anyway.
Okay. Do I keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, the biggest difference between, like, for me, it's Lilia versus you guys. It's Lilia always connected every single of her plays to an objective. When they killed you guys mid, their first reaction was ping Nash. Like, they, or maybe they didn't ping it, but see, Lilia is asking for assistance. That's what made the whole difference. Always connecting her plans to an objective. Because you, earlier, like, you had opportunities to get Nash. It's not like they were defending it too well. Like, you had the opportunities, you just did not connect your plays to it. And be like, if we have the opportunity, that's what we're playing for. Okay. Now, very objectively, was there a bit of tilt going at this point? Like, do you guys get a bit emotional, or do you were like, okay, well, we need to figure something out?
Yeah, I don't think we were really that tilted. I think we were just kind of thinking like, how do we end? But we just didn't know how.
Well, okay, so you see now, we're getting back to 40 minutes ago, at minute 1, when we did the thinking. So you remember the thinking that we did, that they win the 5v5s, etc. But our way to win is to make picks, either with Evelyn or to focus someone with Madar and Malzar and Thresh and Poppy outs out the other, etc. This was not relevant for the whole period. You guys were super ahead. Because you could play it in 20 different ways, it was still winning. There's no such thing as they win a team fight by AoE damage, etc. Like, they win a team fight if you int a team fight, basically. But now that the strengths have kind of matched themselves between the two teams, now we are back to it. Now that's the way to play. Now you are kind of forced to play your comps in the normal way. So from this point, I think they win the 5v5s if you guys are stacked. Like, they have the wombo, they have the easier spells to hit. Lilia can just ult from downtown, and then Yone follows with his ulti, and then MF follows with her ulti, basically. So you guys need to make picks, so you guys need pink wards, you guys need vision, you guys need wards. I don't know how many pink wards you bought, both of you guys. I didn't see a lot on the map. That could be something, especially with Evelyn. So yeah, pink wards are good
As
with and
80
against
carry,
Evelyn.
As 80 carry, I should also be buying a bunch of pink wards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Like, legit, everyone should. And I'm not saying like every like you should buy like 2 pink wards and you should buy from minute 1, etc. But it's also what helps you get the objectives. Like, this game, we saw that objectives were easy to take, even if you didn't take them. In other games, it's gonna be harder, but the pink wards are gonna help you. And guess what? Look at Lilia. She got 2 herald in a row, just because she had a pink ward on it. That's what got, like, she had the confidence that she could do it, just because of the pink ward. So yep, it's super important. This is what helps you get what you want to get. And now, because they got NASH, now your inhib bot is actually pretty tragic. Because now it's free farm and gold and resource. Okay, so now we get to this situation. So they get the NASH. Boom, they get the NASH. Okay, there's a fight, etc. Still 2 alive, so they have 2 NASH. And we get to this point. What's the plan now? What do we do? There's NASH in 5 minutes, there's a Drake in 120, and they have a NASH. How do we win this game?
I don't know.
It's good. So you were right. You know what to work on to make huge improvements. Well, still
Now,
there are
yeah,
2 Drakes.
I'll never have to be in this position. We won't really be in this position again if we apply like what we already learned.
There was so much insight that you gave us. It's
That like now it's like I don't even see myself getting to this point.
Okay, well, we could argue that you could get to this point because kills, etc., we don't matter. To a point where you're 2 Drakes to 1 Drake, 4k gold ahead, and these items to these items, you're gonna get to this point. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. Now we're in the present, we're playing Poppy, Evelyn, Malzar, Kaisa, Thresh against these guys. These are the items. This is the minute of the game, and these are the objectives. You're gonna get into that position again. So let's forget about everything that happened before. Let's imagine we just put you in this game, and we need to try to find something. Well, what I will be looking at is, yes, they have NASH, so now we need to be careful at... when enemy team has NASH, you should not take a team fight unless you're 100% sure to win it, because if they win it, now they have NASH and they can just push and get everything. That's something I keep in mind. I also see that we have 2 Drakes, and so Soul can be a great opportunity for us, and we have really good champions with Soul. I mean, not Mazar, but Poppy can thrive on it. You can thrive on it. Kaita a lot, and Thresh a bit less. But it's a good Soul, and it's also really good to deny it. You don't want them to get it, for sure. So 128, you're playing Evelyn. I mean, for me as Evelyn, I would just stand here, for example. Just you know, wait for someone to make a catch. I feel like with Evelynn, the catches on lane are what surprises the most the players. Like for some reason they don't expect it the most. They expect it a bit in the jungle, but I feel like I would be standing here. There's a minute, so we will try to put vision, and we need to play bot. And you see, like you're doing the only one thing I'm not talking about. I'm talking about trying to make a catch mid. I'm talking about putting vision on bot side, but absolutely not trying to get that 1v2. I mean, it still kinda worked. You killed them, but you're top. This is not what's gonna win you the game, and now you're back on the Drake timer, and you don't get Drake. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the game proves me right over the time, and proves you wrong on the decisions that you take. You need to connect to the object. And even this, like this Poppy TP and this fight, it achieves absolutely nothing. We already got the inhib, but not gonna end the game from it. We're fighting like 4v4 on bot. Like this makes absolutely zero sense. And now we have no flash as an ADC. No flash, no ghost for the next Nash. Nash in 3 minutes, you have no flash. So that's,
Yeah, we're fighting for nothing.
that's the biggest part. It's even you can fight if there are like free things, free opportunities, etc. But do not waste your resources before the big fights, before the big objectives. Like you need them. So now I'm just watching a bit of a fiesta. So let's see if we next Nash 140 again. We need to be top now. Try to set up vision. Try to make a pick. It's okay to push bot only if you have something, like if you want gold for an item. I think no, I think you have your void staff in base. I think you should buy the void staff and then move top side as a team. And now we're dying for T1 right before Nash. Now enemy team can get Nash. Yep. And I guess that's gonna be this again and again. So yeah, you saw it, guys. I mean, you it's not like you don't know. Like you know, you've heard it, but I feel like you did not experience it enough. I feel like if you, like me, if I'm that convinced that I should play for the Drakes and the Nash and etc., it's because when I did not do it, I lost my games, just like this one. And when I did do it, I won my games. And it happened for 10, 20, 30 games in a row. So I'm saying tens of games, but actually hundreds of games in a row. So
Yeah.
So that's why I do it. I'm convinced, and I'm convinced because I tried, and it did me right. So I think again it could be a very good drill for you. Okay, maybe it's me as a Tryndamere player talking, but if I was Evelynn, there's nothing that guarantees me that I'm gonna win this team fight. We've been losing the last team fights. I have my invis. I would actually go and and try to backdoor these two inhibs on the Drake timer and ping my team back. I know it sounds maybe a bit like int, but I would either go for the steal with flash, ult, and smite, or I would go for these two inhibs. But at this point, I think the team fights are too hard to win. You've fallen behind. But you see what
their levels were a lot higher, even though they were like they had less farm, less kills, but they had higher levels.
Yep. Yeah. So now you have no ults. Well, I would have went for the inhibs. I think it could have been a good play. Because yes, we kill MF, but for what? Now we show mid. Inhib, you don't need the wave. So yeah, you see what I mean on the focus, on what's important. So yeah, you end up getting it, but But yeah, you die. Like if you forgot the one wave and went for it when I talked about it, you wouldn't be in Ilya killing range.
Yeah, I had everything up. I think I just like I didn't process the bowling ball or something. I actually just like died with ult, flash, smite, and protobelt. I could have just walked to the side as well,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah, I got
okay.
one
This
shot by.
this death doesn't do much. I mean, okay, maybe you could have defended that. I don't know, but you see, like what I'm thinking of. I'm like, okay, we're playing for Drake, so can I steal Drake? Okay, do we win the team fight and get Drake? If no, is there another objective to take? Or the inhibs? Or just play for that, you know? I'm never gonna play a team fight just to play it. Unless it's 100%, you know? 100% killing them. And winning the game from it. And again, so... Nash in 2 minutes. We defend that, so now we need to put some good vision around Nash. I don't know. I mean, we end up winning this fight. It's just... Yeah, and we cannot end even if it's 2v1 because we have no Nash. So the same play, but 2 or 3 minutes later would have been insane. And now my ADC 7 seconds before Nash. Like you took too long to back. Now you're not on. Like this is really bad for me. You're putting yourself off tempo. They're gonna respawn. They're gonna run straight at it. You want to be there before them, and not after. Boom. And now, as we can see, you're late. Doing this camp. So it's actually both of you guys. So yeah, I mean the good thing when you're two is if you have a good dynamic and you guys don't get tilted, etc. As you told me, is that all you need is one of you guys to be lucid
To make the right play.
and to make the right play and to call it to the other. So for the next game, yeah, you understand you understood what I suggested you to do. And if one of you recognizes that, like you're getting caught in fights, etc., and then one of you is like, "There's a Drake in 1 minute 30. What are we doing for it?" And then the other starts thinking, and I'm sure you will figure something out. Like you guys, okay. Of course, as a coach, like I need to talk about everything you're doing wrong, but you guys are good players. Like on many parts of the game. Like it doesn't exist a player that's, let's say you have a platinum player and he's platinum in everything. It's platinum in mechanics and in macro and in item building and in mental and in everything. It doesn't exist. A platinum player, he's diamond masters in some parts of the game and he's silver to bronze on some other parts of the game. And you guys, the parts where you're strong, you're really strong at them. You drive really well your champions, you have a really good like fighting sense, etc. You have like you're able to tame yourself like early on, like you didn't die, both of you, for like 12 minutes, so it's 25 minutes on the Summoner's Rift without dying. It's pretty good, it's pretty encouraging, etc. Even more, 30, etc. But what you do wrong, you do it very wrong as well. What you do wrong, you do it very wrong. It's actually the best profiles. It's actually easier to improve when you have some really, really weak points that are super weak than the opposite. So yeah, I told you, like, maybe try the drill of playing the Drakes. Maybe try the drill of I mean, not the drill, but just do the thinking early on together. And now, yeah, what's gonna get us the Drake? Probably the peak that we got. So now we get the Drake, so it's 3-3. And the worst part is, I know, like, the losing fight is gonna be a fight for nothing. There is not supposed to be a fight for the next 4 minutes, at least a straight up like 4v4 fight. Like if you guys fight, it's a pick, it's an Evelyn pick. And look also at these guys, that's why Evelyn's so broken in this elo. Look at how many pink wards they have on the map. 0. Like you can legit walk wherever you want without being seen as Evelyn. That's why it's such a good pick. I mean, at every elo. But the higher, the harder it becomes. Okay, this is the kind of pick that are really good. We can burn MFGA. Nice. Don't try to do more than that. Awesome. And now she has no GA for Nash. I mean, how long is GA though? Yes. 6 minutes. So she has no GA for Nash. That's what's good. Okay. Oh. Okay, okay, that works.
And this is where I completely throw too.
Who said that, Toby?
Yeah. Look at the play I did right here.
I mean, I don't know. There's not much to say. To this point, it's not that that horrible, that tragic, you know.
Mhm.
For me, like you're supposed to be there on time to defend again. Are you not? Are they gonna end just from that?
Yeah, I think they have just from that.
Yep. Yeah, at this point we're too late into the game. Okay. But I mean, it's I mean, you flipped it and you lost the flip. So we could look at that fight, but for me, like the biggest part is that we didn't play on our strengths, which were again, and we talked about it minute 1, Malzar ulti, Thresh CC, Evelyn catch. That's it. It's not something else. It's and Poppy splitting their team in two, basically. That's your strengths. So here with Evelyn, we get a pick. You end up dying, but it's for MF ult. We not. And yeah, Malzar is not in the fight. Like we're not playing with our strengths basically. And then yeah, the play on Yone. But yeah, at this point it was not what cost you the game.
Yeah.
There,
It was the last thing that happened, but it wasn't what cost us the game.
Yeah,
but it was just the last thing that happened.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, as we said, like from minute 1, like their team fights are way easier to play on their end than it is for you. It would have been poggers, just as Evelyn. I mean, we see it because we have the whole vision, so it's easier to see now. But it would have been poggers to go for them. Oh, you didn't see her back. Okay, so you couldn't know that she was. Because that would have been giga pokers if you go for her and you can leave after. But you didn't have the vision, so you can't actually know it. I mean, the biggest part for me, again, is that you spend your flash and you spend everything to flip a fight in bot jungle on a random timer, and that's not what we want, again.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did that bring any question on this game, these situations, or the game in general? Did that bring any question on your end?
Not really. I'm kind of understanding a lot more. It really is our biggest thing is just making the timings. Like our biggest thing is the timings, because obviously we know how to play our champs, but the timings of making a play based around like the time you have, I guess, I don't know, is the most important part.
Like information, if we can like spam ping the correct timers, we can win a lot more games if we can get our team to cooperate. But we have to make that happen.
Yeah, also that's true. That's something where we, because you guys communicate in vocal, you don't feel the need to communicate to the rest of your team. When imagine for the rest of your team, when you have two guys that are fed, because you seem to be fed like most of the time, like 9-2, 19-1, 5-2, 14-2, 22, etc. And I'm guessing it should be the same for Toby. Imagine if the two fed guys are spam pinging something. You listen, you follow them. Like, as I said, you're 40% of the team. If you manage to convince one other person to do something, it's most of the team that's on the same page. So that's the strength of duoing. It's also like being an influence leader, you know, bringing the guys to your place, etc. So yeah, it's not because you're in vocal that you're prevented from pinging and giving out information. That's for sure. Okay. So now, if we look at another game, it's gonna go faster, of course, because I'm not gonna repeat in depth the concepts that I talked about, but we're gonna apply them. So do you want to look at another game? And if yes, you tell me which one. And if you think it's enough, you tell me also. You decide.
There should be a
Uh,
37-minute game.
37.
I think it's right there,
37-46.
37-14.
Is
Yeah,
it
that one.
the Fizz? Ooh, 17-3. Okay, but you guys get kills. You guys have insane KDAs. But
But that's
yeah.
another one we get stupid fed, but we can't carry. So it's like we wanted to review the games where, like, we just need to learn how to end the games basically because
Okay.
we get fed and we should be able to end, but we don't.
Okay. Can you guys just give me 1 minute? I need to go to the toilets real quick, and we'll look at that. Be right back.
Because, like, obviously, if we're getting shit on, right, we know what we did wrong for the most part.
Yeah, the majority of
But
the time.
we're giga fed.
We don't really get shit on is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, and when we do, it's a lot more obvious. It's more like when we're ahead and we're not winning is the annoying thing. If we could just win the games that we were just a bit ahead, the leads that we already get, we'd win like way more.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I'm down to
Oh, that
play
dog
after
is-
this if you're down too.
The dog is just barking, bro.
You're not gonna be back in the. You're not gonna be able to get on or no?
Oh no, I mean I left the gate open, bro. Like I don't know. I'm gonna go to sleep and it is what it is. I can't have a dog.
So you don't want to play like this?
No, I do want to play. I'm not gonna bother with the dog.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah, because
I mean, you saved it at least. Like,
I saved its life. I fed it meat, like raw
did it
meat.
meat?
Yeah, I fed it a fucking human meal. Look, I didn't cook it, but it was some good meat.
Yeah. And it ate.
Yeah.
Like it trusted you and everything.
Bro, I was scared of it, dog. I was like, what if it's a skinwalker? Do you know what a skinwalker is?
It's like a person, right, that disguises as something that needs to be like helped, just so it could like get into your life, something like that.
Something like that, bro. Damn, I forgot about the part where it needed to be helped. I was like, because I saved it, it can't be a skinwalker, right? But fuck. Imagine, bro.
Probably good, bro.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Boom. So this game. So we have peace. Okay, well, let's go. First thing of every game, like you know what to do. So I'm listening.
Okay, let's see. I think they have more scaling than us. So I also think that I have the advantage through early to mid game. And I'm looking for kills actually on Fizz to shut down Aurelion Soul. I'm thinking my Evelyn's weak to Nocturne. Yeah, that's pretty much what I get from it. Let's see. Do we win the level 1? I believe that we do not win the level 1. Or I think it could be really close, so it should be whoever gets the first pick on each other.
Okay. Do you have something to add, Ryan?
I think in this game, I was just think about my pathing first. So I know that Toby will be stronger than Aurelion like for a while, like at least like level 9, like up to 9 before Aurelion can start one-shotting the wave. I'm worried that Nocturne will start on the same side as me because I want to start bot just to go faster and get to top first, but I also know that Nocturne is. I was thinking the same thing, and the fact that Riven has Ignite and that Nocturne that I feel like Riven will win the matchup just because Teemo has Ignite, and I don't know, I don't have a lot of faith in it. I feel like Riven will have the prio in top, which will let her rotate to the Nocturne, like, and help him. So I'm worried about starting on the bot side because if I end up on the top side, I'm worried that I won't get the scuttle and that he'll be able to double scuttle me. So I want to say I do like buff, and then clear downwards. I do like red, blue, and then go Gromp down, but I'm not positive. Just to avoid him and also hit my 4 and get my scuttle and potentially gank bot. I think that was my plan. I can't remember. It was a few games ago.
Okay, and on a 5v5 situation, who wins it? Let's say it's mid game. It's not late game. We're not at 5 items. Like everyone has 1 or 2 item.
I
I
think we
think
should win it
we
Yeah.
should win it mid game.
mid game. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So now I will tell you a few things I would add or a few mindset shifts I would do. First thing, something super important as a jungler, Ryan. You should, like the lower in elo you go, the more junglers you have starting bot. And when you ask them why, they say it's because I have a nice pull bot. They pull faster, so I go faster. And it should never be the reason why you start on a site. You should choose your decision of where you start based on where you're gonna end your pool and where do you want to be on the map. So here, if you're afraid of Riven having the prio being more dangerous and you know that you lose the 2v2 etc. Well, bot, it's 2 like weak bot lanes early on, like Kog'Maw and Vayne are 2 like hard scaling champions, and early they're pretty shit. So it can go both ways, and maybe actually Lulu is easier to play than Milio. So you could have an advantage on bot side, and you can also ask your mid laner where is he gonna be when you end your clear, and when you're gonna be on Scuttle, as we said, Toby, he's gonna have pressure early on. He's way stronger than Asol. So even if your top or your bot doesn't have prio, you can ask for your mid to come to move, and a play can be made together. So for these reasons, so these are the things like to keep in mind. Okay, so then I will add that yes, they have a huge scaling because of Kog'Maw, Asol, and sort of Milio. But you also have a really good one on Vayne, Lulu, and Evelyn. Fizz will fall off later, that's for sure. And Teemo, it depends of how they play, how the enemy team plays, and if they walk into the shrooms, etc. But Teemo has actually a pretty good scaling. So it's not obvious. Both teams scale super hard. They might scale a bit harder because Asol is absolutely broken later into the game. But you still have your word to say, you know, like it's not absolutely lost. And then yes, mid you have a very easy target for you guys. So especially after level 6, like if Fish hits, there's no way he lives. By the way, I wanted to ask you, Ryan. I see that you're going Dark Harvest this game, but the last one you were going Electrocute. How do you make your decision between the runes?
I was just testing Dark Harvest for a while because since my playstyle is meant, so it was because I watched a YouTube. I was trying to look up like people playing Evelyn, and I was watching King Sticks, and he's not like the best, but it was like just another, because I don't find a lot of Evelyn people like that consistently make content. So it was a recent video, and he went Harvest, and his mindset was that sure, Electrocute's more consistent, but if you have Harvest, you can guarantee the last hits on the kills, which will get your Magi stacks faster because you don't have to worry about like anyone taking a kill, I guess. And also like you're scaling with absolute Gathering Storm and your Magi combined with like the Dark Harvest scaling, you'll just kind of scale infinitely, like even more. Whereas like you're already kind of over killing people on Evelyn anyways. But I don't think I'm gonna run it anymore. I was kind of just testing it out.
Awesome. So that's how you play League long term. That's amazing. Like on Tryndamere, for example, I was playing standard runes, and at some point I was like, but I'm a split pusher. I'm shit at team fighting. Why do I not go Demolish? So I went Demolish for 40 games, with the like 35% win rate, and then I understood why demolish is shit. It's because demolish, like I can't handle my laning phase, etc. But now I know why I buy why I take this rune. I know why it's good, and I know there are other options, and I kept my mind open. So okay, amazing. I love that. You're looking for info and testing things out, etc. Well, that's what I'm expecting you guys to do with your gameplay. Try to do like different plays when I'm saying like the taking Drake drill, etc. Oh, we're taking Drake. Nice. First one. Okay, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then my plan, like yes, if you're afraid of Nocturne early on, it's to like he's stronger in skirmishes. We can try to avoid him. So one thing you can do is try to put yourself in Nocturne shoes and look at your champions and see that maybe Nocturne, he sees an opportunity to gank easier in top, and that's why he's gonna pass bot to top, and then I'm gonna do top to bot myself to counter it, for example. Okay. And then so bot is scaling, top we'll see. I mean, when it's an ignite matchup, it's very snowbally also. So for me, like as Evelyn, you're like helping mid is good because yes, he's winning, but the more we help him, the more he stomps. Helping bot can be good because this guy will scale super hard, but they scale anyway. And helping top can be good because this guy has no TP, so it can snowball pretty hard one way or another. And now it's all about like which can be ganked. It's a bit hard to gank on the Riven unless she uses her abilities. I mean, Aisola has actually a pretty insane escape early on before Fizz level 6, I think, like with his W, it is, yes. And bot lane with Milio, it can be hard, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like we still keep in mind that we want to farm and to chill and see how it goes, and then mid you know that you want to try to abuse as much as possible this Aesol. And because you're in vocal, and as I said, like you guys need to be selfish, I will always keep an eye on like helping Toby play aggressively. Because if Toby just plays aggressively, he's gonna push the lane by default, probably. And Nocturne can just come, so I would just like try to stay around mid to bail him out. Things like that. Okay, so we see how it goes. Going up to top. I mean, the problem with Aesol is if he's a good player and he wants to stay safe, he can stay safe. Like you cannot like just run straight at him and kill him basically. That's what I don't like about the champion. It's a scaling champion that's very safe. You shouldn't be able to have both.
Yeah, and that's why I choose to not push him in, so I can try to get something out of it.
Yes, makes sense. Okay, very good. We have info on Nocturne, so we take this. We should, yeah, look to walk through mid lane, play double scuttle. Awesome, really good. Nice. And we got Aesol out. Okay,
I know that he's top here. Yeah.
So, what's the idea behind like pushing the wave at this point of the game? Are you looking for an item? Are you?
I'm just not wanting it to crash super hard. I don't think I mean to push it unless Aesol has backed. If I known that Aesol has backed, then I would try to push it and back as well.
Okay, I think I don't think I'm certain that you should freeze the wave here.
Yeah.
You should 100% freeze the wave. So I would give you, because you guys have seem to understand and have quick brains, I will give you the math of freezing because there is math behind freezing. On mid, I mean I don't know it that well on mid, but I know like you need at least the equivalent in pushing power of 3 full HP caster minions on this side. When you're on top and in bot, you need 4 full HP caster minions here, then you need only 3 here, then 2 here, and then only 1 in the middle is enough. Like if you have 7 creep waves against a 6 creep wave, it's gonna push to you. But here you need like 8 to 6, here you need 9 to 6, etc. And here you need 10 to 6. But if you have even waves that meet closer to your turret, and now you evened out the waves. So now it's 3 casters for 3 casters, 1 cannon for 1 cannon, and 3 melees for 3 melees. I mean, it's gonna even out because you keep hitting it. And it doesn't have 3 extra minions.
So you're saying instead of backing here, I should stay here and just freeze the wave?
No. What I'm thinking is again, like we're just like we did earlier with the enemy Timo, like we put ourselves in Asol shoes. Imagine you just freeze, you just keep the wave here, you last hit it, and you make sure that you control it so it stays here. Asol, if he walks back by foot, he's gonna lose this whole cannon wave. This cannon wave, but this CS, it's gonna make him lose the whole cannon wave.
Oh, okay.
So he has to TP. He's forced to TP. Here, by pushing, he's allowed not to TP. And now he can freeze on you, actually.
Whole wave. Yeah.
And now you have to crash a wave that's super close to his turret. But you can't. And also you knew that Ryan was in base because he did double scuttle, etc. So you have no jungle prio. Their jungle can come, and now you have to fix this wave. Good luck. And he has a TP also. So he can fuck you up. But again, because you're playing against players that do the same mistakes or do a lot of mistakes, he's fixing it for you. But here for me, like you should go back to mid probably, unless like you have a certain play, if you're convinced that this works. But yeah, we do 1 for 1. But I don't think it's actually good. Now this wave is bad. You see, your team loses this wave. They get all of this XP. Your team loses this wave, and they lost this wave and the wave before. So you lost 3 waves for a kill. So it's and it's a trade kill. So you actually lose in terms of.
We recognized this in game. I was like, damn, that it just. I was hoping the top roam would give me more, and it wouldn't be a trade. But I just committed to it anyway. Once I saw the jungler and the play change, I still committed to it anyway.
Okay.
So what should I have done? Should I have just stayed in the lane? Should I not have roamed? I should have froze it, right?
You should roam as a mid laner if you have a timer to roam. And what is a timer to roam? It's when your wave is good. What means having a good wave? It means that when you're not there, by default, the enemy is the one losing gold and experience. Here, let's imagine Asol disappears. There's no Asol. While your wave is bad for the next 40 seconds. Because for the next 40 seconds, your wave is going to kill his wave. Or maybe even less, 20, 30 seconds. But then it becomes a good wave. Because the turret is going to start killing your minions after it crashed. So this is not your timer. If you crash that wave, then you have a timer. And the timer is as big as the next wave. So if the next wave is not a cannon minion, it's a small timer. Because now after like Asol is going to be able to crash the next one pretty quickly. And if it was a cannon wave, it was a longer timer. Basically. So for me, your best thing here, once it's done, once you've done it, is to call Timo to go mid to catch this wave, and you stay to fix this one, to try to fix this one.
Wow,
and then you back, and then you swap again.
Okay.
But here, your team...
So that's some crazy high elo shit.
I mean, yes, but you saw that the math is not...
Yeah. Definitely pointed it out. Like I said, one of my weaknesses is my wave control, and I thought it was a little better. Like right there, my whole thought was to push in and roam, right? But I guess I didn't push it in enough, so I should have just stayed, right?
Yes, you have to push it to the point where the enemy turret is denying minions to your enemy. So here, for example, okay, we push it. We're out of time because look at this. These minions have this distance to cover. And so you know that enemy minions have this distance to cover because you can look at your minions. So you know that this is gonna crash, and this is not a cannon wave, But you still have a timer. It's not an insane one. It's not a huge one, but it's a timer. It's gonna be very hard for you to crash to push the next one again, the next one, because they're gonna meet here. So you're not supposed to be able to take this wave, but still you have a timer, and your timer is until this red wave gets into your turret. That's the time you have to do something on the map, because after that you're gonna lose the equivalent of it's 150 gold basically. So if you're certain that you can get more than that, and it's not only 150 gold, it's the gold plus the XP that goes with it, then you can commit to play and give up this wave. If you're not certain, you should not commit to play, because you're just flipping your game, and you don't want to flip your game. So here, for example, you use your timer for vision, deep vision, etc. And here you see that if you commit to that, it's because you're certain that with Ryan, you're gonna kill the guys, or you're gonna get more than what you lose mid. And don't forget that it's an ASOL that scales hard, to which you're giving all of this time and resources. So yeah, my whole point is like it ends up being, I mean, it ends up being okay, it's good, but only because you did 2-4-0. If you didn't do 2-4-0, it was not a good play. Look at what ASOL got. I'm sure that he doesn't have like more gold than you, but it's ASOL.
But he's surviving.
Even at 730. Plus, starting hitting your wave, and remember what we told about mid turret, it's the fastest way to Nexus, etc. Like, it's actually pretty good for ASOL, and he still has his TP because you didn't make him use his TP earlier. So, it's okay, it's good, depending, I mean, it was good on the decision if you are sure that that was gonna be the outcome, and it's good on the outcome if you're gonna do something with your lead. So here I'm expecting you to crash this wave super quick. You can get hit by the turret. It's okay to do an E here in the casters because you know you're gonna recall after. So it's okay to...
Yeah.
You don't need your mana, you don't need your HP. You can give everything out. Boom. And now we want to reset. We're on the timer to reset. It's a cannon wave. We press B and we spend our gold. Ah. Nah. Okay, again, if you guys are communicating and you say, yeah, it's a free kill and we get Drake, okay, that works. I don't know what has happening, but you understand, like in solo queue, I might have not went for that kind of play. Because
Yeah, we definitely communicated that.
Because now you're what they call off tempo, because ASOL he backed, he spent his gold. You didn't, so you're 0-0 right now. But okay, like you're still strong enough to push it. That works. Like because yeah, it was the play with the Evelyn, etc. That works. But you need to back at some point. Okay. So here the wave is really good. I'm expecting patience from you, Ryan. There's no need to engage too early. Yeah, they committed to the play. They use post flash. And why do you push it? Okay, imagine now their bot lane have no flash. Imagine the wave is here and they have to commit. Well, you're invis, you just walk again and you kill them, no? But now, because you push it, look at how safe they can be. So your intervention did nothing. I mean, yes, you got the Drake, but the jungler was top. Like, you had the Drake anyway. And now your team is losing a wave. Again. And you're not gonna kill them for the next 5 minutes yourself. So yeah, like, that has happened like twice already, or 3 times in 2 games. So it shows me that out of 100 games, it must happen a lot. You had a gank opportunity because the wave was pushing into you. So it was a good wave. So now, you take their flashes, keep the wave good. It's really good. Let your allies tell you, if they want to push it or not. But here, yeah, so you see it. Like, imagine if we keep the freeze, what are they gonna do? Kog'Maw Milio with no flash against Evelynn with flash and Vayne Lulu. What can happen?
Yeah.
Okay. So we end up getting the Drake, which is fine. Okay, I really like that invade. I really like that. Hmm. Oh, you had to ult the fear. You had your ult, no? You don't have. Wait.
Do I?
I mean, sometimes it's a bug from the replay.
Oh no, I think I do.
If you do, I still really like that invade, and I don't know why you don't use it. If you don't, which is possible, sometimes on the replay it doesn't show. Because here you're supposed to R now. Oh, maybe you waited for the... But no, I don't know.
And then
Oh yeah, because I didn't think he could. I was waiting. I was just really waiting, and I remember he
The
smites. He
smite surprised
smites.
you.
Yeah, so I was just because I knew he couldn't close the gap anymore, so I was just being really greedy with it, waiting
Yeah.
for the execute, and then he smites me. I was like, fuck, I didn't think about smite.
Okay, and I guess that the Vayne just pushing him to you didn't help also. But
no.
for me, the best thing would have been because you using your flash instead of your ult as an escape. I think it's I mean it's 5-minute timers versus 2-minute timers. Like it speaks for itself, you know. And I feel like you should just have ulted when the fear was gonna go off. Like at this point, it's again like it's all about tempo. Here, maybe you are thinking maybe I'm level 8 versus level 7, maybe I can like trade with him a bit, and but the thing is he recalled and he spent his gold and you didn't. So you're actually like it's like you had 40 CS and 0 kill, you know? As long as you didn't spend your gold, you're not fed.
Yeah.
So I would just like R right now before it goes off. So you get out of the range and you're chilling and you're out. Okay. So now you have games to take. Okay, that works. That works. I'm guessing it was called in vocal.
Yeah.
Okay, we're killing. I mean, you have a Magi. Oh, I would have. Okay, you're fine. She had no CDs. Wait. Yeah, she had no E. Okay, okay. Okay. So, really good. Well, you got 2 kills. One on Asol. One on this guy. This XP is gonna be lost. Okay, I like that you know that Riven might want to go for a dive. So you're covering it, staying out of vision. Really nice. That's a really good play. You see when I talked about being patient and you don't have to always do something? That's a really, really good play. And now we need to push. Ah! Now you need to have Timo pushing. And now it's okay to share the XP because, yeah, the faster you push, the faster he's gonna back, the faster he's gonna come back, and the more...
I'm so disappointed.
She can miss.
Okay,
I mean, it's okay. It's a Timo. Like he has push power, and just that Riven comes pretty fast back to lane.
But it's just funny that when you say like push, like in game I didn't push, and when you said like don't push is when I pushed.
Yeah, that's the problem with Daisol. Like, I hate that champion. I hate the design. Like you know, like Karthus is a scaling champion, but he has no escape. Like he's super easy to kill. But then you have Asol that's super scaling, and he can just W through the whole lane. It's so insane. Okay. It's funny because you're playing a bit different than last game. I feel, Ryan. I feel like you're playing more Like you're more looking for opportunities and less looking to full clear.
It's depends if the Magi was rushed or not.
Yeah, maybe
It's
there's
different.
Magi's and also Dark Harvest because like you want to stack it probably.
I'm like playing for Magi stack.
Yeah, I really like those plays. I really
That was
like them.
beautiful. That was very
Ah,
nice.
but look at that. Why do you have to lose a wave instead of going for 600 gold? Because they're on Drake? Well, Drake is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now look, now your team is the one losing a whole wave for no reason. And if they were like really good players, this guy would clear that and TP top. And they get all of this. And then Riven goes
Wow.
mid.
hmm
But yeah, like these are... So I don't know how to condensate it in like one simple sentence you could ask yourself, or one simple thing you could do to help you like make the right decision between do I push or do I not push. Basically, it's all about like is the wave good for my team, and here like if you stayed with Timo, I think you get T2. I don't think, I know that you get T2 or at least ASOL TP, and it's 600 gold. And you don't lose the wave, and then you can take this camp if you want. So yep, hope you see it now. I hope it makes sense. Okay, we're on top side on Herald timer, and the enemy jungler is bot. Are we gonna do Herald? What do you guys think?
We're gonna kill. We're gonna kill and dominate.
Yup.
Okay, it's okay. It's still a Herald timer. He's dead. No, Ryan. So you see, it's really good. It's a really good play, really good call. But what are we playing for? We're diving mid, not to dive mid. We're diving mid to get Herald. Herald is gonna get a... Plus we have damage here. A Herald would kill this turret and start charging this one. We're getting so close to the Nexus. But now we're flipping a red buff, and now he has the timer. And now, yes, we're super fed. But you have 3,500. And this guy has spent his gold. So you're actually less fed than Nocturne right now. And we are gonna give a big shutdown and lose our Magi stacks, maybe not. But close to it. We're risking it at least. When you could have just taken Herald, backed, come back with 2 items, you could get Rabadon second with Magi's, actually. And the game is just over again. But I mean, it's really encouraging because I think you have less road to do to get to Masters than a player that's average in everything. Like, you guys are really good at getting fed, at choosing your champions, finding right plays, but it's really poor. Like here, he's dead. It's Timo that pings it. It's Blow My Dart random Timo that pings it. No.
Blow my dart. Blow my dart.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. But come on, and plus it's 300 gold. Like you like kills for resources. Well, that's a kill for you. And it's Timo that's starting it. Timo and Lulu, the ones that you're backing.
Wow.
We both backed.
I mean, yes, I hope you see it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely see a lot more clear for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this I know you can do. This I've seen it. I know you can do it. But again, like we do it and for nothing. When are the objectives? Up objective timers, Nash in 40, but Drake in 140. So yeah, it's okay to use your ult for a pick. I mean that's just like playing against Nocturne is super annoying. Like you have to always consider when he's out of vision that he can be there. Drake in 46. This guy is dead. Their bot lane is top. This is a free Drake, right? 1 dead, 2 top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5 coming. That should be a free Drake, right?
I hope so.
I hope so. Okay, free pick maybe, but if we go and kill the Riven, it's in order to get Drake after. But now look at them. You gave them the time to come to you. Their bot lane that was top had the time to move around the whole map, to come mid,
See,
even to
and
clear the mid wave.
I think I go in there and try to stall, right? What do I do? I'm just looking for a pick.
Mm-hmm.
Then I try to obtain this. Oh wow.
I mean, it's okay. You killed the jungler on a Drake timer.
Uh-huh.
You used Zhonya's and ultimate. You use ultimate, so now we're don't want to force a fight, right? Our bot lane is pretty far. I mean, it's always yeah, it's always the same thing, not connecting the plays and the thinking to what's gonna actually win us the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is where I die. 1,000 gold to Kog'Maw.
This was
And
probably
this is
game losing, actually.
yeah. This is where I was like, damn, bro, that's terrible.
I mean, even before the shutdowns, you are not that ahead. So you told me that you got outscaled, and at 22 minutes, you're only 4k golds ahead. So even if you're 23 and to 11, you're actually not that ahead. Like, you're the ones that have to make the plays.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're chilling because Aesol, like, he's 0 and 4, but he's 2 items. He's scaling. He's at 13. He has his ascended ultimate. So you are not actually as ahead as the last game. Last game we had 10k gold lead. So maybe before you get shut down on mid lane, Ryan, maybe at this point you were way more ahead. But no, it's actually only 4k. You know, when you don't have the scaling, it's not that big. Not that big. Yeah. So I mean, you saw it. You saw when I was like, okay, we have Drake. It's when you have 2 guys top. You have Aesol dead. That's the moment we should get Drake. That's not the moment we should run after Riven for 40 seconds. And if you used everything, that's not the timer to fight anymore. And you used a lot on this Nocturne. Now we lose the Drake. Okay. And the thing is, again, like, we're fighting around Nash, but I'm pretty certain that even if we win the fight, we're not gonna go for the Nash after it. Vayne is bot, so anyways, we can't really play for that. Not supposed to play a big Nash fight with our ADC. And at this point, like, Aesol is enabled. It's gonna be way harder to play. Okay, let's see. I will press pause now. That's the situation. So 2 of them are dead. Aesol is still up. He has 1 HP. Yeah, it's just Baron.
Do I die here?
I thought it would be more complicated. So it's 3 of you guys against only Nocturne, and Riven is bot. Maybe we get it. We get it. We do get it. Hoping's it. Timo. Blow my dart.
Timo got the macro, bro.
Yup. Imagine if you had it. If you had, you would have it all. Because you could argue, yes, but I'm chasing Nocturne out, so he cannot smite, etc. But as I said with Evelyn, if you manage to practice it, you can stack your ult damage with the smite, and no one can outsmite you. Just Nunu and maybe a few other champ I can't think of. but you have actually a 2k HP smite. Okay. Why not? It's a pick. I mean, we're playing assassin, so it's okay to go for picks. We end up getting the next Drake, so we'll see what gets us success, because we saw a lot what gets us unsuccessful. But it's
We're
also
here
good
before it spawns. We're here before it spawns setting
Yes.
up, as opposed to afterwards.
Exactly. And because you have the position, they're forced into you. They're forced to walk into you. And no one wants to walk into assassins, and you're playing assassins most of the time. So we make some pretty good picks. As I said something about, can we just walk up as 5 and end the game? I'm not saying you can, but just in that kind of situation, you should ask yourself. And if the answer is no, you don't go there. And
Probably not, because Aurelian Soul.
yeah,
Just stand there.
man, I hate this champion. Like, by himself, he draws so much pressure. Okay, we get the Drake. Okay, we kinda came back. Again, like, they're actually in the better position if we agree on the fact that they have the scaling. So
This is the lull state you kind of talked about, right? Like right now, because we can't really, because of Aurelian Soul, we can't really just like push mid and take towers. But there is also no dragon and no baron.
yes.
So
So
it's
how
kind
do we
of
counter that?
this is a weird spot.
How do we counter that? How do we go around the fact that they have an ASOL that can clear waves?
We have to kill.
Just look for picks. Like for free picks is like really the only thing I can do.
Waves. You push multiple turrets. He cannot clear like 2 turrets at the same time. So first you have to get Nash, and then with Nash you push multiple turrets. Or
So what do we do before Nash?
well, before Nash, it's like the kind of lost state we talked about. So when you have 3 minutes, it's why it's actually interesting. I used to not watch competitive at all, but then you watch competitive and you watch the game at its highest level, so you understand what you're supposed to do. So during these lull states, it doesn't do much to. You don't want to put vision now, because if you put a ward now, it's gonna fade before Nash, right? So it's not the moment to put the vision. It's the moment to clear camps, to deny them from gold, experience, etc. It's the moment to play for your items. So, for example, you're getting close to, how is it called? To Void Staff, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how much you need after you have this to get Void Staff? Isn't it 1700 with this?
It's like 1770. I don't know, something crazy.
So you need 700. So your mission, Ryan, right now is to farm 700 gold before Nash. That's it. And then be back and put vision 1:30 or a minute before it spawns, basically.
I'm normally blue trinket on my Eve. I don't know why I'm not right now, but I don't know how much that changes anything.
But you can buy a pink ward, so you can, if you have the gold for Void Staff plus a pink ward, you buy Foot Staff and a pink ward, and you move to top. And even if you don't know where to put it, the simplest one, you put it in the Nash pit. That's it. You put your pink ward in the Nash pit. It's vision for Nash. It's gonna be useful. And of course, yes, you look for picks, but the better thing is if you can get, because if you get a pick now, what does it do? It doesn't do shit. If you get a pick in 2 minutes, doesn't do shit. If you get a pick in 2 minutes and a half, it gets you Nash. So you want to set up yourself for success on these timers. But here, like, you're not supposed to be able to just like push a wave, dive them, kill them. Like, it's not supposed to happen. If it happens, it's because they inted. Like they have Kog'Maw, they have ASO. Like, they can depush waves. That's no problem. But now the question is, can they run into you? Like, the objectives, when we talked about objectives, it's not about also only getting them or killing the objective. It's about using them as a magnet. As I said, if you're on Nash, they have to come to you. It's like the Drake. The Drake, like, why did they face check you? It's because if they didn't face check you, you would just get the position and get the Drake. So they have to walk into you. And as assassins, that's what you want. Like, yes, assassins are good for diving, but at some point in the game, everyone will have a Zonias. They will have like this guy has stopwatch. They have Melio, etc. Like they have anti-dive weapons. The longer you go into the game, but they cannot face check you basically. So it's not even do Nash to do Nash. It's go there and let them walk into you. Fizz R. Evelyn spells, and then you still have Vayne Lulu to play an extended fight if needed, and they are really good in reception for Nocturne. But yeah, this doesn't achieve anything for both teams. Okay, maybe they will get a T2, and that's it. And what did they use? Kog'Maw flash, Lulu flash. So now their bot lane has no flash for the Nash. It's shit. But our team used flash as well. Flash. So imagine if you're the ones that keep your summoners for the objectives. How easy the fights are gonna be. Even if you die here, even if you don't use your flash to die when you could have killed, well, these are fights for nothing, where you invest resources, and these are the fights that matter in 1 minute and 30 and 2:25. So by just doing that, if you just change this thing of your gameplay, like keeping your sums for the objectives, you will already have a flat advantage and climb a bit. Just if you change that. And now you see all the things that we talked about that you could change.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on the timer where Nash is in 1 minute. This guy is bot. He shouldn't be bot. And now we should... yeah, you had the gold for voice staff, but you didn't buy a pink ward, where you had the gold for the pink ward. So that's a reflex that you should take, and you put it anywhere. Like if you don't know how to put it in that bush. It would deny the vision. Put it in that bush. It would deny the vision. That bush, so you know when they come or not. I would play for Scuttle here to have also vision, and yeah, that's it. We're playing for position on Nash side. Toby, it's okay to depush that wave. Maybe the next one. And now you die. Yes, you killed Kog'Maw, but now your team has no smite. And the Nash is spawning in 20.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yep. So whatever happens after, regardless, they win, they lose the fight, etc. Even if you win the fight, yeah, you win the fight, but we have no smite. So they're not gonna... Toby and Lulu are not gonna flip the Nash. I mean, they can't do it, they're super slow. Okay, we're picking Drake. Who's picking it? Timo, again.
Blow my dart.
Yep. And now we're in position for Drake. And we don't do it. You actually have some pretty good damage on the objectives as Evelyn. Like, you do them quickly. You actually do them quickly. And now we have the most tragic thing where when there are two objectives on the map, you're supposed to at least get one. The worst thing that can happen is fighting not for an objective, and then so this way enemy team gets both, but you're supposed to at least get one. It's okay to drop Drake to go Nash. It's okay to drop Nash to go Drake if you think like you want to play Soul. But here we went for this. Okay, now they get Nash, and now the scaling team has reached 35 minutes. They have 5 items A soul. Good luck, guys. Good luck. I mean, it's not only Ryan. Of course, on this game, I'm focusing a lot on Ryan, but of course the calls can be made by you, Toby, as well, and you can play for this as well. But this game it was Timo. We let it
blow my dart.
Of blow my dart, indeed. Yep. We're fighting on a Nash timer, which is very, very risky. Okay, it's really good that you got the Zonias. It was good enough. But it doesn't, like this def, I don't mind this def. It doesn't do shit. It doesn't do much. It makes Asol waste time on his Nash timer. So it's actually a good def. This is good. But dying when there's an objective or an objective coming, that's really bad. Now we'll see. Like it's in their hands. Now if you're gonna win it, it's by a mistake on their hands. A pick that you get, but at this point, like you can't blame it on Timo. Like yes, he died and he misposed, but at this point, like you're misposed if you're out of your base against their comp. And it's GG. So yeah, still the same thing. One thing different also for you, Toby, I think when you're playing mid against a scaling champion, you should be very, very careful about your rotations. So here it ended up, like you ended up gaining resources for it, etc. But if you look at Asol POV, look at how easy his game was. So Asol, like, yeah, what he wants is clear waves and stack his dust, etc. But the problem is he's weak and he's afraid of getting killed. But you're taking this problem out of his hand. So so yeah, you put your top ahead, you still got some kills, etc. But it's something you should be super extra cautious with, and you can't afford to rotate on bad waves, especially against this type of champions. If it was like yeah, some other type of champion, it would be okay, but Asol is a scary one. Really, really scary one. Okay, any question on this one? Did that bring any new things you want to talk about, or?
No, it's the same thing. It was like the same thing in both games. It's
Actually
a really
worse in this one, I think. Our
Um,
objective taking was a little bit worse in this game.
yeah, on some parts, on other, like the last game, like the last game was a clear stomp and win. Like you were 11k gold ahead at some point, etc. But also, I mean, there's one part I didn't talk about, but which is gonna be super important, but it's gonna be a really hard part of your gameplay, guys. It's super hard to do, but shutdowns are too broken in this game. And giving shutdowns is so bad. But the thing is, because you're so good mechanically and you take good kills, you're always stacking shutdowns. But it's super hard not to give them. I know at every elo it's hard to give them, but it's so broken because like you get punished for getting fed. Now you can't play on any flip play, like even if it's a tiny bit flippy. But especially when you're playing Medjais plus your shutdowns, etc. You need to be extra cautious once you have kills and play for what's absolutely certain. But it's not what's losing you the games yet, so that's why I did not focus too much on that. And like it's okay if you give a shutdown for a Drake or for a Nash, but here like the problem is you give shutdowns for 1 kill or 2 kills or things like that. Okay. Well, I mean, I give you plenty of information. I think you tell me. I never end a session until there is like 0 question on the coach's end. So it's the moment. If you have any question, you tell me.
Yes, my bad. I'll mute myself, guys. So, story.
he didn't mute himself. I don't think I have a question. Like you kind of made it clear. Like we can see it now. It was hard to see like before, but it makes a lot more sense now.
Okay. Awesome.
Sure. If I ever have a question, I'll just DM you or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. You've unlocked the DMs to Shaduk. You can ask me. You can ask me anything, and I will try to answer. For sure. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we're getting to the end of it. As I said, I will isolate the VOD from the coaching and send the link to you. Would it be okay for you guys if I upload it to YouTube as well for content, or
no, that's fine.
it for yourselves? Okay, thank you so much. Well then, to kind of conclude my coachings, what I do every time is, of course, like everyone is learning when I do these coachings. Like, for example, I learned that Timo blind stops Evelyn E didn't know it counted
Yeah.
as an auto attack. But I learned also way more, and also you can teach me on my coaching performance. So what I would ask you, if you guys can tell me what I've done right, of course, if there is things that you really enjoyed, but also, and most important, what I've done wrong. If there's anything that I could work on, improve on, I would love to hear it.
I kind of like the way you explained everything. You had a good balance between talking to both people. The only thing that I got a little bit confused on is sometimes with the language, like we say leashing and you said pool, and it took me a second to realize pool was like leashing. Like, so I didn't know what you meant in the start, and then I like kind of put two and two together. I was like, oh, that's what he meant. And I think there was some other words that you used. It like, and the direct translation was like not exactly the same thing. But like, if you have a North American, I think they definitely would say leashing.
Yeah, it's probably, I watch only like US streamers and content creators, and yeah, there might be a difference in semantics and in the language we use. That's interesting. I never thought of that. Yeah, I should adapt or use things that are.
It was like two. It was only two things. It was like pooling, and there was like another word you used later on, but that was like the only thing I didn't understand. But I figured it out.
Okay. No, it's really nice that you tell me that. Okay, awesome. And
I guess if you upload it, we can always review it. It's permanent homework.
Yes.
Until we master it.
Exactly. Okay, if I have the motivation to do it, I actually what I showed you earlier that I did like a 5 hours coaching, and what I did is I sequenced on YouTube. I put the chapters, so you can directly click on okay, let me show you this. So you have the timestamps, and it tells you what we were talking about. And I'm nothing here during the coaching. So here, how to learn by yourself on Trynd, how to start the game, do the thinking, jugger tracking, first 3 wave management, etc. So I have the motivation. I will post it on YouTube and do the timestamps also, so you can get back to only one part of the game, and maybe it can be even more valuable for you guys.
Yeah, that would be really nice if you could do that.
So I will try to find the time to do it for sure. Okay, well, guys, if it's good for you, I think it's good for me. Well, did you take notes of the main points, or do you?
I took no
not
notes.
literal notes, but
But you
mental
remember
for
what
sure.
we talked about, like the main
I
points.
remember.
Like, okay, awesome. Well, guys, it was really enjoyable for me, at least. Hopefully for you as well.
Best coaching I've ever received.
Yeah.
Have you received other coachings?
Yeah, I've gotten like probably 5. This is probably the best one. This is the most like in depth, I guess.
I received 1 hour of coaching, like live games, just on laning phase, basically.
Okay. Well, I love to hear it. Love that you love it. If you guys wanna extra, because you paid for it, and you're actually the first time I get like a paid coaching at the full price, so it means a lot for me. It confirms that I can have a place on the market. So it's actually a big.
I think that
for
you can kill it, man. This is incredible coaching, deep insight.
Thank you
That's
so
the
much.
deepest insight I've ever had, to be honest.
Thank you so much.
Just
guys.
full transparency. I was a bit nervous when I realized oh wait, this guy only plays Tryndamere. But then you proved your game knowledge was way beyond just knowing Tryndamere. You know.
Let's go.
I was worried. I was worried that
I stated it as well. I was like, this guy's a one-trick Tryndamere. But I was like, he's GM. He has to know something, right?
I know a few tricks. And
then we were like, which EU server does he play on? Does he play on the better one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I reached ranked 520 this season. So, and I've coached 100 players from bronze to diamond 1. Every role, every champion almost. So yeah, I've built some sort of knowledge I can transfer, I believe, and I love that you felt that way too. Well, if you guys want to give that extra little help, there's a channel in the Discord server called Your Feedback. So if you feel like it, you can throw a few words in there. It will help a lot. And but don't feel absolutely not obliged to do it. You were super coachable. You were super nice, and it's way more than enough for me for this session. And you paid also, so that's something.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. As I said, you can ask me question. I'm trying to stream every day at the same hours, so it's 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. French time. So I don't know what time it is for you guys, but it's in this range. I will be streaming every day, so feel free to come by and ask question if you have any. And yeah, that's for me.
What time is it for you right now?
For me, it's noon right now.
It's 5 in the morning. It's 5 in the morning here.
Yeah, so
I don't know what that translates to in your.
So
in your
it's
stream
from
for
1
us.
a.m. to 6 a.m. for your time.
Yeah, if we're ever having a hard time falling asleep, we
Yeah.
can just fall asleep to your voice or something.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, guy. Have a great time on the Rift and IRL as well, and see you later, hopefully.
Yeah, if we hit a milestone, I'll be sure to like send you a screenshot, or I'll put it in like
Yeah,
the
with
feedback.
pleasure. I love that. I love to hear that.
Awesome,
Alright, cool.
man.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
man.
Have a good one. Have a great night. Good night.
All right,
I
man.
guess.
Peace,
See you.
man. Good night.
Peace. Bye. Okay. Awesome. What a nice coaching session. What a nice coaching session it was.